Get ready for a year of Test cricket like you've never heard before.
Stark tries again. He runs in straight through it.
Grandstand cricket.
12 months, 20 Test matches, New Zealand at home over summer, the 3 most iconic overseas tours, the 150th anniversary Test under lights at the MCG.
Hammer driven for 4. Beautiful stroke.
And it all begins on Thursday with Australia versus Bangladesh.
Hits it clean over the long-off boundary for 6.
Listen to every ball live from the top end on ABC Listen. Just look for the cricket button.
ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
Boy, we're going to have some fun.
The AFL in 2026 on ABC Sport.
When the siren sounds. Here we go. Listen to the roar. It is showtime.
Well, take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Right to the goal line. Jamie Elliott, the man who gravity forgot.
That's why we love AFL football.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
From 45 and rise it all the way home.
An ambitious effort. Unbelievable.
The left foot is a goal. Oh, yeah.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Throws it, kicks on goal. The prancing pony.
What a goal.
He's off and running from 45 to get the party started.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
It's bouncing, it's through. Bailey Smith, he'll want the cameras on him right now.
Night camera action, baby. Countdown contact.
Spins around and buries it.
Loads up from 55. That's a monster bomb.
40 metres out. Snaps towards goal. What a beautiful finish.
Bacon goal square goes for glory.
He eyes the goals and sends it home.
100% pure footy. Every minute of every match, all season long.
Gathers, snaps, goal.
It's just football at its best.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Kick on goal, dribbles it through. What about that? Took them all on and said, I'll have some of this.
Bailey pinches his pocket and bang, bang, bang. That's the price you pay against the Premier.
Watson snaps. Oh, Watson puts it through. And the Wizard arrives precisely on time. He's built for the big stage. On his left boot, his kick is good.
Inside 50, off the step, turns and goes bang. And snap.
And goal.
There's some bravery through the middle of the ground.
How good is that? What a goal. He wastes no time. He whacks it through for another. It doesn't have to be your night, but it can be your moment. Hands it to Charlie Cameron. He can walk it in. Show him your tail lights, Charlie.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
Runs the 50 out. What a way to finish.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
You take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
A wildcard shaping contest closes round 22 of the AFL. The Blues are currently in 10th spot, 10 wins and 10 losses, having taken down the minor premiers Brisbane by 76 points last week. With an equal record, 16 individual goal scorers and their highest score in 14 years. Another win under interim coach Josh Fraser will kick the Blues 2 games clear of St Kilda in the race for the wildcard spot. Well, the Saints, they pinched Carlton's free agents in the off-season, Tom De Koning and Jack Silvani, during last year's trade period. On a course to try and return to finals, they can leapfrog the Blues if Ross Lyons-Sy can get victory tonight. And ex-Blue Liam Stocker also celebrates his 100th game. It's a double-header, the season opener in the AFLW. The Blues got the bragging rights of the 26-point victory, and it's the 6th annual double-header of the Spuds match. So paying tribute to mental health. And, of course, better together is the theme. So the two sides will gather in the circle before the opening bounce. Matt Clinch with you for ABC Sport. Score the action alongside Ben Cameron. Welcome, Benny.
Hello, Clinchy. Great to be here. It is more than just a game tonight. Obviously, we remember Danny Frawley, and we encourage men who don't do it overly well to check in on their mates, to speak to one another and to open up and, try and help one another with how they're feeling at any given time. We'll work our way through all of that. When the footy starts, Mick Malthouse has conceded to me recently that there is such a thing as an 8-point game, and this is one of them because if Carlton win, there'll be 2 games clear inside the wildcard positions in 10th. If St Kilda win, they'll be level with Carlton on points with a better percentage and will leapfrog the Blues. So Ross Lyon says it's undeniable they've improved. They're up 15.8% on last year, and that might be the difference between making a wildcard spot and not in 2026.
And there are no late changes, so the teams are as selected. So Jack Silvani with that dislocated shoulder last week against the Sydney Swans, he will play tonight. And Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera has passed his fitness test after that hip injury last week against the Swans. Also with the Suns' victory over the Giants, it means that all of a sudden it gets a bit harder for GWS to feature in those wildcard spots, while the Magpies, 19-point winners over the West Coast Eagles, cements their spot in the top 10. Daniel Harford's been on double duties this afternoon following the AFLW. He's here once more on a Sunday night. Welcome to you, Harf.
Great to be with you. Been a long day, but I've enjoyed the footy. Great game early doors with the Blues and the Saints and the W. Good crowd and attendance early to watch, and a fascinating encounter here. You talk about the 8-point game. Ross Lyon, every game's a grand final, he told us last week in the press conference. So this could be absolutely significant for their chances this year and for the wildcard action as well. So fascinating to see what happens. The Blues are on fire. Spud's game, really important mental health conversations need to be had. So there's a big go on the line tonight.
The old Dockers players do say that Ross Lyon used to say to them, he used to call it, the season would end at round 22. Week 1 of the finals was round 23. Second week, round 24. Round 25 in the grand final, he'd call it round 26. Yep. So every week's a grand final. Every week's just another round of the season to him.
And alongside Daniel Harford tonight, great to have 2-time All-Australian best and fairest Chad Wingard with us for a Sunday night. Welcome to you, Chad.
Oh, what a ripper game. I'm excited to be here. And I think we just spoke about St Kilda. And last week, I feel like they would have felt like they left 4 points on the board. I mean, leading all 3 breaks and in the last quarter just dropping like they did, they'd be pretty disappointed. And obviously, Carlton coming off a magnificent game last week. So I'm excited to see how both teams start. And obviously, the significance of this game is obviously we just spoke about. But what a great game. It is an 8-pointer. And you just have a feeling that whoever wins this game is going to get in. And obviously, whoever loses feels like they're just going to miss.
Yep, with you, 100%.
Ahead of the opening bounce, the 2 playing groups will gather in the centre circle. A touch of Hollywood. Eric Banner is going to address the playing group with Nick Revolt and Abby Holmes. This has become the tradition for the annual Spuds match, raising awareness for men's mental health. For the Blues, with such a big lift last week, Josh Fraser, this interim Cinderella run, 9 wins and 2 losses as he looks to resurge the Blues, who started the season so poorly. And all of a sudden, the Shackles feel like they're off with Carlton, and the possibilities might be endless if they can continue their winning ways tonight.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of that phase they're at the moment with this evolution under Josh Fraser. There's no real... I don't think they're feeling any pressure. They felt a lot of pressure coming into the season with the situation with Michael Voss. That's all been taken away. And now they've been given this new lease of life with a bit of a tweak to the plan, Chad. I mean, the defensive system's been really strong with their transition, turnover, scoring games gone through the roof. So it's a fun way to play footy. Get the ball back, and a bit like Melbourne are doing as well. Get the ball back and push hard to use your skills and score as quickly and efficiently as possible. That's what the Blues have been able to do. And the Saints, we know, are always a massive challenge, and they're the best starters. Benny keeps telling us every week they're the best starters in footy. Q1 numbers, what are they, Ben?
17-3. So they've only lost 3 opening terms this entire season. And it is weird, Half. We've done a few games where they've conceded sort of 3 goals quickly out of the gates, but they've still fought back and won that opening term and gone from there.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're a great competitive unit. We've seen that with Ross Lyon coach teams through the years, and they are better. There's no doubt they are better. They score better, they defend better, their contest is better with a young midfield, which we're excited to see against some established stars in the Blues tonight.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm actually loving Max Hall. I mean, think about his game last week. I think it was about over 20 touches, 3 goals. And obviously with Naz, you expect what you're going to get from him. He obviously had the 20 and 3 as well. But those two are so potent. You've got to remember, Max Hall, where they got him in the draft, obviously, he came from Box Hill and was dominating down there and getting that selection. And he just came up and just dominated for St Kilda. So he's one that goes under the radar a fair bit, but he's been super potent. And like we said, Jagger Smith last week, some of the Carlton midfielders just really dominated the reigning premier, so one to watch early on.
Now the players are gathering in the middle of Docklands. So the Blues AFLW players and their AFL players, St Kilda with their AFLW players. And now the Saints players are gathered in the outer of the centre circle. Let's take you down to Abby Holmes.
Spuds game. Today has been about so much more than just football. It has been about one league coming together in support of mental fitness for everybody in our community.
As has become our tradition, tonight's game will be delayed by 2 minutes. It's a small pause that reminds us of something important, that taking a moment to check in, to connect, or simply to be there for someone can make all the difference. Please turn your attention to the big screens.
There were emotional scenes for St Kilda stalwart Danny Frawley, cheered off the ground at his last appearance. At three-quarter time, the Saints were well outmanned by 66 points, but never going.
When the Saints go marching in, it's right there in our famous club song, but it's a line we can take for granted. See, that's the thing about marching. You shouldn't have to do it alone, because we're so much better when we march together. Tonight, we march for Spud, and in doing so, we march for mental health. Our men and our women stand united under the same banner. Tonight, we showed up, just like we show up for our mates and our families when they need us the most. But this isn't just a game. It's so much bigger than that. It's about turning up as a team, a tribe, a community, to make the conversation around mental health louder than it's ever been before. Tonight, we light up the night to tackle the darkness, united in our purpose, because we're stronger in numbers. We truly are better together.
Thank you, Eric. That message tonight belongs to all of us. If you haven't already, please take out your phones and turn on your light as we come together to light up the dark for mental health.
Look around you. Thousands of individual lights, one league, one community. That's what better together means. The Danny Frawley community, part of the Black Dog Institute, is leading vital research, education and programs that are helping Australians build better mental health fitness every day.
If you're able to, please donate by scanning the QR code on the big screen. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps make a difference. Together, we can build a stronger, more mentally fit game and community because we are better together.
Fans, Marvel Stadium, thank you for lighting up the dark. Put your hands together and enjoy the game.
So lights turn back on here at Docklands. Quite a moving ceremony as the St Kilda and Carlton AFL men's players, the AFLW players, the umpires and coaches and officials all gathering in the middle of Docklands with the lights turned down, people turning on their lights on their phones to work as a great visual representation. The fireworks on the edge of the centre square and the important message around raising awareness and money for mental health in tribute and honour of the late Danny Frawley. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford are your experts on ABC Sport. It's an unusual lead-up for both these sides, especially given the recent history. Yeah. A few of the St Kilda players, former Blues players with Tom de Koning and Jack Silvani, but for a very important cause, everyone comes together in the middle of Docklands.
Yeah, absolutely right, and they've done a great job with it as well. The whole promotion, the presentation was great. The crowd got involved. It was terrifically done and absolutely worthy cause, as we well know. But as we move to the footy and the contest tonight, Chad, we talked about the midfield before. You mentioned Maxie Hall, and obviously Naz knows what he's doing. Riley Garcia Hugo Garcia has done a great job. Really developed from a Saints perspective this year, and he's up against a really established midfield. I mean, we know that Jagger Smith is a newcomer to the ranks, but you've got George Hewitt, you've got Paddy Crift, you've got Sam Walsh rolling through that area of the ground. It's going to be pivotal, that area of the ground tonight, that area of the contest tonight. If you can get on top there, chances are you will have the upper hand in the contest.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And they actually ran up to the Sydney cohort last week, and they're actually on top of them for the majority of the game until that last quarter, like we just mentioned before. And Paddy Cripps, this is their blueprint. Yes, they've gone away from a little bit more uncontested. We were talking about their ball movement, the evolution of Carlton's offensive and their defensive prowess, but their DNA is still contest, still clearances, and that's why they smashed Brisbane last week in that contest. And then the rest plays out from that. So whoever sets a tone early, you feel like it's going to get the upper leg. And we know that St Kilda start really well, like you just said, 17-3 in the first quarter. So I'm really looking forward to the first 10 minutes, and that's what both coaches will be saying. Let's focus on the first contest and let's go from there.
Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with their thoughts as the players head out into position. The final member of our team sitting in the front row. She's also doing a double shift. Welcome to Poppy Benny.
Hey, Glitchy. I'm just about to enter my 5th quarter of footy for the day. It's been a lot of footy and it's going to be a long evening, but I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, we just had the Spuds game sort of ceremony, and there is some smoke hovering above the ground because they let off some fireworks and there's not a heap of breeze under here, under the lid at Dockland. So it is, it's going to hover until it dissipates, and there's not much to move it away. So kind of playing under a cloud at the minute, but it's a great atmosphere down here. It's packed.
Thanks, Poppy. The Saints won by 39 points back in round 8. That was under Michael Voss, though, who wins half. And Chad?
I'm on the Blues. I can't get off the Blues energy train at the moment.
I'll take the Saints as we get underway. Pitnet and also De Koning. It's the latter who wins it down. Hall tackled quickly. And we'll go again in the middle.
A little bit of howdy-doody early doors.
Yeah. Sam Walsh getting stuck into his old mate, Tom De Koning. Up it goes again. Pitnet slaps it down, coming through Garcia for the Saints. Hayward goes in. Naz tries to soccer it on. He's bumped off the footy. And eventually Bradley Hill, a high up and under. Out towards the wing, and Woods underneath it takes the mark. This ball to the wing for St Kilda. Driving ball inside 50. Marking contest. Off the hands of the pack, out the back. Sharman manages to get it out to Owens, who gets it on towards Wangane Malira. His kick dribbles to the Blues, and Haynes are under pressure in the back pocket, and a clearing kick for Dean.
Ends it up to McGovern, who comes in from the side and takes the mark against Brad Hill. So big Carlton have it at left half back.
Big result for the Blues, just a hack kick out. He was out of position early, but it carried just another 5 metres to kick and allowed McGovern to launch at the footy.
Sends it out laterally to left half back, where Cowan takes the mark in 2 minds. He runs an extra 5 metres, pokes it in the direction of McGovern. He rises in front of Silvani. He kept running, looks inside 50. Mackay in a tangle with Caminiti. The ball clears the 2. O'Connell gets there first to St Kilda. Hand pass to Wilkie against the boundary line. Gets it forward along the ground to Stocker. The Saints across half back. Hand pass to Brad Hill, back to Stocker. He gets a hand pass forward. They've got loose players on the wing. A little down low in the end for Max Hall. He left it in the end for Marshall. And a chance for Wood, who takes 2 Blues to bring him down. And eventually a ball up on the outer side. Cowan and Evans were the 2 Carlton players who brought him to a halt. No score through 90 seconds. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Pitnet wins it down for Jagger Smith. Gets it onto Walsh to Cripps. Just shovels a handball high up in the air. Jagger Smith runs onto it. Blues up at half forward. He'll kick inside 50. Caminiti double fisted away towards the boundary line, and out it goes. Throw in 40 around from the attacking goal for the Blues. Scores level through the opening 2 minutes. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Dean alongside Cooper Sharman. Haynes has Owen. Marshall forward has Dirksen. Inside the forward 50.
Caminiti and Mackay's an interesting matchup.
Certainly is. Shallow throw in. Pitnet up against Tom De Koning. Spills down the way of Boxall of the Saints. Hand pass away to Brad Hill. Around his body up towards the wing. Clears the early fly of Dean. To the back where Cowan is tackled by Cooper Sharman, and the umpire will ball it up. At the other end, McGovern alongside Wilkie. As half mentioned, Caminiti and Mackay. Jack Silvani alongside Brodie Kemp. So many of these teammates a few seasons ago. As Winhager takes it for the Saints. Hand pass to Brad Hill, and now to Nasai Wangane Miller. Sends it up the wing to Rowan Marshall. who takes the mark between wing and half forward. He looks up, Higgins on the move, goes into the pocket, in the end looking for Mitch Owen. And it tumbles end over end and out of play, a throw in 45 metres out from the St Kilda goal.
Still that smoke haze just lingers around Docklands. Earlier today it was Carlton who won by 26 points in the AFLW. De Koning takes it out of the ruck, puts it on the left boot, gets to the top of the goal square, but Dean's there. Marks a fullback for the Blues. What a player at just 18 years of age. He dabs it short to the pocket. Finds Hayward, the former Swan, who's fitted in beautifully. He lifts the kick out very wide and too wide. Trying to find the leading Lord out of bounds on the full, and the Saints will take it back. Still no score in this match, 3.5 minutes in.
Winhager has it at right half forward. Decides to just send it long and high inside the forward 50 in the direction of Sharman and a Mitch Owens who juggles the mark in the right forward pocket, only about 20 metres out from goal. How did Dean and Haynes not get a hand to that?
We came in from the side of the contest. He was able to run and jump at the contest. The big group of players that have assembled, no one got to him, and he's a guy that you cannot let launch himself at the footy because he's such an athlete. It's poor defence from the Blues there.
20 goals, 19 for Mitch Owens so far this season for the Dream Star for the Saints. He opens up the angle and curls through the opener. Inside 4.5 minutes, St Kilda are on the board. They're 1 straight 6 to Carlton yet to score. The thoughts of Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with you. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Harf, you can't allow a forward to have that kind of run at the ball, especially someone like Mitch Owens who does have that athleticism. But the worst part of this whole, I suppose, contest is that Carlton had time to set up. This is a kick that went out of bounds. It stayed out of bounds for a good 5-6 seconds before they got back into the contest. So to have nearly 16 players inside forward 50 in your defensive 50, you've got to have someone at least bodying up, flying to the contest and killing that out of bounds. That was not a direct kick. That was a kind of like a 3 high and right towards exactly where they thought it was going to go. So it's just not quite good enough by Carlton. Need to switch on.
Nick Haynes it was. He dropped off as Owens went around the side of the contest. We'll get some feedback on that, I'm sure.
Coning the tap down. Jagger Smith takes it though. Sends the Blues with a high kick to half forward. Swatted away by O'Connell. Naz can't gather it. Has to slap it on. Garcia tracks back. Wins the footy. Just gets a handball out. Wilkie's in the mark. He can't take it. O'Connell comes in. And he's wrapped up. O'Connell, their Irishman, about to have another. Kobe McDonald has arrived this week. Mackay trying to take it out of the ruck. It spits out and Windhager gets a hurried kick beyond offensive 50 for St Kilda.
Up towards Hayward, who got a spoil away. Florent gathers 1-2 with Chera. Looks into the middle of the ground. Has to kick long and lateral in the direction of Blake Acres. He marks at the edge of the centre square. Looks inside 50. Sends it in the direction of Kemp. 1-on-1. It's spoiled away from him by Jack Silvani. Testing out that right shoulder as his teammates come and applaud him. The ball goes out of play in the right forward pocket. A bit of Bronx cheer from the Carlton fans as well.
He had a fistful of jumper he did on Kemp. Did Jack Silvani got away with one there in that marking contest.
Throw in. Right forward pocket here for the Blues. Pitnet taps it down and we'll get another ball up. Happened to walk in with Jack Silvani's mum through the gates. Would be a unique experience for the Carlton family. Sorry, for the Silvani family here today, cheering against the Blues, and something they're still getting used to, I'm sure.
Yeah, after 70 years or so.
Yeah. Ball tapped down and Cripps hacks it forward. It bounces out. Throwing coming. Saints lead it by 6 points. The only score of the game, and Mitch Owens' goal. 1 straight 6 plays. No score, nearly 7 minutes travel.
We've heard Ross Lyon sing the praise of Hugo Garcia all year and the way he's developed into a great midfielder and run-with player. He's been given the job at the start of this on Patrick Cripps.
Tom De Koning tried to get rid of Pitnet illegally, says the umpire. And it's going to result in a shot on goal for the Blues. De Koning with hands on hips. What do you think, Half? Was that more in the side than the back?
Yeah, I'm going to need to see it again. Plenty to be honest with you.
He didn't actually touch the ball. So his whole, I suppose, effort was to push Pitnet off the ball without actually getting into the ruck contest. So if you watch the replay here, did not even attempt to hit the ball. Kind of missed it late. That's the most frustrating, I suppose, free kick in a D50. What's the benefit of him getting a hit out to giving away a free kick? It just rattles me when ruckmen do that.
There's a bit of pushing and shoving taking place off the ball. Pitnet looking for the Blues first. From 35 metres out, he steers it through. Carlton are on the board after 7.5 minutes. We're locked up at 1 straight 6 apiece. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
Well, a great opportunity there for the big fella to have a presence. So Rowan Marshall getting involved in the last foray forward for the Saints. So it's important if you are going to take on Marshall and De Koning that you have a presence forward of the ball. And Mark Pitnet's been able to do that a few times this year. It's been a positive addition to his game, I reckon. Now, a relatively dodgy free kick on that occasion, but it's a ruck infringement. Who knows which way they go anytime they play those decisions. Good luck.
Well, he was in a good position to start off with. So
yeah,
he made it a running contest, and then De Koning just got caught out and lately tried to push him. And if you don't set up well as a ruckman or any position, you put yourself in a position to give away a free kick or just give him an easy hit out. So in that instance, he just decided to push, and like I said, umpire's call.
Ruck Sherrod in the middle. Wangane Malera roves it off hands, gives it to Hall. St Kilda ball. Oh, Naz's done a hammy.
Yep.
Nasira's done his hammy, reaching for that ball. He's hobbling off. Ainsworth has taken it for the Blues.
Bad one,
it kicks up to half forward. And the mark taken by Evans, who sends it into the pocket and finds Kemp. But there is a bigger story developing. A left hamstring for Nasir Wangane Malera. Poppy Penny will be all over it on the boundary.
Yeah, he knew it straight away, didn't he? He saw it almost. You could almost see it pop. It was that bigger pop, that hamstring. As we see the replay, handball out to Maxi Hall. Went again. I reckon he did it there. He did it as he went to give the handball to Maxi Hall. He did.
And he kind of got a little push as he gave the handball. So you see him lunging and trying to stay up straight. They're the ones when you are overextending and trying to keep up. I've done plenty of these ones, obviously not at that pace, but a lot slower. But they're the ones that you're trying to... Yeah, sorry,
wide out. Sorry, Chad. Just misses to the left-hand side. So 1-1-7 plays 1 straight 6. Carlton's first lead.
They're the ones that are really hard to stay up. When you're upright, you're almost falling over, you get that push. You see those ones, they're the more the nasty ones when you're trying to stay up. So fingers crossed, like I said, it came pulled up like it was significant. Let's just hope, obviously, that it's not as bad as what it looks like.
Brad Hill brought the ball into Wilkie, sent it up the wing, looking for Mitch Owens, and off hands it goes out of play, a boundary throw-in. So how significant is that to Carlton and their chances tonight, and St Kilda and their hopes to try and feature in September?
Yeah, well, it's significant, full stop, as you say, for both teams in the contest tonight, but certainly going forward for the Saints if they can sneak into a wildcard, what it might mean for them.
Marshall one down the tap, taken by Filippo. Got the hand pass away to Brad Hill, sends it up towards Rowan Marshall, can't reel in the mark. Now he lays the tackle on Jagger Smith. Umpire circles and we'll ball it up at right half forward for the Saints.
Oh, I don't even mean this. It'll sound disrespectful. I don't mean it to be. Like, the whole game plan is based around Naz.
Yeah. I think that's a fair conversation.
Out of the match.
Push you out through the afternoon.
8 minutes in, Nasir Wangane Miller with a hamstring injury. Looks like he is done. Ball stuck on the bottom of the pack. Sam Walsh and Boxall trying to knock it clear. Numbers dive on top and the umpire will ball it up.
There's not too many players that can move their own magnet effectively through the game. He's one.
Carlton 1-1-7 as St Kilda 1 straight 6. Filippo ragdoll tackled in the end by Florent. Ball eventually spills clear. Jagger Smith gets a hand pass forward to Lord. To Walsh across half back. Needs support. Inboard to Florent. Trying to tap it down to Lord. Tackled. Somehow got it out to Wilson. The Blues through the middle of the ground. Hand pass away to Hewitt. Looks laterally out towards left half forward. It's marked by Hayward. He can chip it over the top to Evans. The Blues now have it at left half forward. Centering ball. Missed the intended target in Byrne. And the numbers back for St Kilda. Winhager to Wilson. Down low for Brad Hill. Left it behind. Now has to become the tackler on Cowan. It's stuck underneath a few players as Byrne tries to knock it out for the Blues, and the umpire will ball it up. It's 45 metres out from Carlton's goal. They lead by a point.
It's a bad miss coming inside forward 50 there for the Blues.
So just repeating this, Wangane Malera appears to have done a hamstring.
He's done it, mate.
Yeah.
There's no allegedly here.
Yeah. No allegedly. He's done his hamstring. He is ripping off the taping or the tape that he had around his torso, which for people who were with us last week, well, remember, Ray Chamberlain was all over the fact that he got a big, heavy corky in his
like a hip
side.
Pointer?
So you just wonder whether that's impacted his gait and maybe resulted in a hamstring as the kick from Silvani goes up to the wing. The Koning flying forward out the back. Hauls onto it for St Kilda. Kicks around the wing, too wide. Out of bounds on the full. The Blues to get it back. They lead by a point. 1-1-7 plays 1 straight 6.
It's back on the bench. Now sitting at the back row. Down to Poppy shortly and find out what the situation is with them.
We can do that now because Cowan's getting a 50-metre penalty. So Poppy Penny on the boundary. Naz sitting in front of you.
Yeah, he came straight off, straight down the rooms, kind of banged to the side in anger. He knows whatever it is not great. He's gone straight to the back of the bench and, as you say, taken that tape off around his middle. So he's at the back of the bench and he's getting some ice applied to that hamstring now by the looks of, and he doesn't look very happy.
Cowan looked to switch to the outer side. A big collision between Lord and Mason Wood. Both landed awkwardly, and in the end, Cooper Lord's going to get a free kick. He looks to poke it over the top where Frankie Evans runs into space. He has it at left half forward. The Blues leading by a point. Evans looks up in a congested forward 50. Pokes the kick in the direction of Kemp and Mackay. Mackay to the back. Can't take the mark. Crashed into him. Rowan Marshall does the tumbling. Got a hand pass away. In the back pocket to Brad Hill, who dodges and weaves. Hand pass away to Wilkie. Big H is still down as they chip it out of defence, and the mark is taken at left half back by Boxall. Hand pass around the back to the run of Filippo, who looks up the wing, pierces a kick to Cooper Sharman, who takes the mark at left half back.
So just doing the quick math as well, even if it's a garden variety standard hamstring, that takes you to the Sunday of the wildcard weekend as Boxall kicks around the wing. Ryan juggling it for St Kilda and paid the mark.
Finally.
So Ryan will look inside 50. Sends it deep. He's got Owens down there in a one-on-one with Dean. Dean swirls it away. Onto it late. Zigging, zagging. Gets the handball away. Back to Owens in the pocket. Now to Garcia. He'll back feed a handball away to Burns, who dumps it on the boot. Floats it on goal. It spirals and drifts just right of the goalpost. So through for a minor score. 1-1-7 each of two through 14 minutes. The wildcard games will be Friday and Saturday, you would think.
Yep.
So maybe if they play in the Saturday one, it'll be close. But even best case scenario, standard hamstring, it's going to be tight.
The hamstring or the timeline?
The timeline and the hamstring.
Oh, especially the way he plays. I mean, let's be real. This is not a full forward that can, or a slower player, maybe like a Paddy Cripps who can just get around stoppages. That's an easy speed. And he's going to be high risk regardless.
Yeah, we know the problem that the Saints have had with some hamstrings. One in particular in the last couple of years.
The Blues look to transition it through Florin at half back into the middle of the ground for Patrick Cripps. Looks out to half forward. Has Hayward in space. He takes the mark in front of Jack Silvani and cuts on his right. Looks to drive it long to Mackay and Louis Young. It's brought down at ground level. Running on it, Frankie Evans snaps it on his left for the Blues second. And they take the lead with that goal. Carlton 2-1-13 to St Kilda 1-1-7. And Frankie Evans in the perfect position for a small forward. Cuts through his first of the night. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts. Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
And that's the evolution of Carlton. Paddy Cripps gets that ball. That was an amazing kick, 45-metre dart through the corridor. Yeah. Paddy Cripps marks that. Back in the day, or even start of this year, that would be just blazing away. But he pulled that kick to one of his teammates that was a bit wider, much better, in a better position. Now he's got shoulders out, looking inside his forward 50. And I was about to say, Carlton haven't had a great ground level support. They've been kicking in there and not getting a lot of reward. Finally, they have a small forward that comes in there and puts it through the middle stick. So great reward for effort.
You've got to get in at speed. Watching the Saints live the last couple of weeks, you've got to get in at speed. If you held up outside the arc, they get all their numbers back and make it nigh on impossible to score. So get in at speed and put some pressure on them, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, whatever it might be. Give yourself a chance.
Marshall in the ruck, takes it out of the ruck, has it knocked out of his hands, and the Blues win it back. Cripps hurries the kick inside 50, bouncing ball. Caminiti bounces off his chest. He goes again, gets some help from Hill. Mackay beats him to it. Going in neatly though, Clark for St Kilda extracts it. Out to Garcia, running off the back flank. He'll flick a handball away to Filippo. There's a whistle on the play somewhere. Umpire Brett Roseberry says, bring it back, it'll be downfield. So Garcia was held after giving away the handball and he'll be marched downfield. So Garcia looks inside 50, trying to get it towards Higgins. Ball hits the deck eventually. Florent dropping the mark. They all pile in. And the umpire will come in to sort it out. Carlton by a goal. They've kicked the last two after St Kilda kicked the first. We played 16 minutes.
Voice of Ben Cameron alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts. Liam Ryan's a little worse for her as he gets back to his feet.
Shoulder.
Marshall one down the tap. Shark by Chera though. Hand pass a little wide for Akers. Under pressure from Higgins. He squeezed the kick forward but barely 10 metres. Taylor Byrne had it spoiled away from him and it goes out of play. 50 metres out from the St Kilda goal. They're 1-1-7 to Carlton 2-1-13. This is a double header earlier in the AFLW. It was the Blues who opened their season with a 26-point victory. And Liam Ryan is coming to the bench, so this is concerning for Ross Lyon. Messiah Wanganeen Miller are done with a hamstring injury. Taylor Burns across half back takes it for the Blues. Hand pass to Evans to Chera. Gets it out to Cottrell on the outer side. 1-2 with Wilson. They got it around Lake. And Wilson now looks inside 50. Kicks in the direction of Kemp. It clears him. And racing back, Hunter Clark gets there. The reinforcements back for the Saints. He turns and kicks long back up the wing. Lake in front position against Wilson this time. It bounces off his chest into the path of McGovern. Hand pass inboard to Evans. He's almost crunched in a tackle by Stocker. And the umpire says the intent was high. And so the tackle just got him over the shoulder. Evans was off the ground momentarily. And Liam Stocker, the former Blue, has given away a free kick here, and it will result in a shot on goal for Frankie Evans.
He didn't hold anything back, did he? He came launching through there, Liam Stocker. And quite rightly, the free kick was played against him for high contact. As you see, Liam Ryan go straight down to the race too, underneath the stadium, underneath the grandstand. Poppy's going to be busy tonight. Earn your cash, Poppy.
I'll ask you in a moment. Half hour Ross Lyon would be feeling with Naz out of the game, and now Liam Ryan heading down to the rooms. Evans with the last goal of the game. This will take his best from outside 50. He's dragged it left, looking for the extra distance and a minor score. The Blues by 7 points, 2-2-14 to St Kilda, 1-1-7.
It's a shame for us because he's the kind of player you come to the footy to watch, isn't he?
Well, both of them at the moment. Yeah. Ryan's out at the moment too. So they're the guys that draw people through the gates. Absolutely.
Stocker kicks up to the wing. Owens drops the mark, and Dirksen roving the pack. He's carried out. Boundary throwing on the wing. City side of the ground. Carlton lead by 7 points.
So it's these shots half of Ross Lyon and Corey Enright in conversation. How do they change the magnets?
Yeah, well, I expect a couple of key pillars to be moved. Wouldn't mind betting that Philippou spends a bit more time around the footy. Not the Naz role, but in that position. He probably won't get the freedom with the magnet that Naz does, but I think he'll be involved as a dynamic sort of explosive player from contest. And then they've got to restructure the forward line, which they probably don't have. I mean, Liam Ryan's a pretty unique beast. They don't have another Liam Ryan, I don't think.
Well, Young slaps it on, and we get a secondary ball up. Cripps gives it off towards Stewart, spirals it towards full forward, punched away by Caminiti. Bouncing ball, Evans is there. Back feeds it to Hayward, back pocket. Who dinks a kick from Mackay, and he's got it. 30 out. There was a centering backwards pass. And Mackay will go back and kick for goal from 35 out. A plumb line to goal.
Clever kick, wasn't it, really? Cripps in the ruck. That's the versatility of having a guy like him around the contest. Creates that extra midfielder. And he can send a big guy forward and put a bit of pressure on defensively if he can win that contest, which, as Chad was talking about before, the Blues are pretty good at.
Big H. Harry Mackay comes in and slams it through. Carlton have booted 3 straight after St Kilda kicked the first. 3-2, 20 plays, 1-1-7. It's been a big day for the Mackays / Mackays of the Blues because same spelling, different pronunciations.
Totally different pronunciation.
Hopefully similar sort of games because Abby was best of field in the AFLW earlier half. 3-2, 20 plays, 1-1-7, 20 minutes in.
She was given the golden fist as the player that epitomised the way that the Spud would have wanted to play today had he been out there representing his beloved Saints. Abs was fantastic as the captain of Carlton in the win over the Saints in the W game prior to this. Big H, no relation, and has had a nice couple of moments early doors too.
So Carlton out by 13 points. St Kilda have been a great first quarter side. They've won 17 of their 20 first quarters. They're up against it here. De Koning's tap, beautifully sharked by Sam Walsh, who drives it inside 50. Kemp, did he get a shove? He did. Bleeding out.
De Koning's down.
And Tom De Koning is grabbing at his right shoulder, still in the middle of Docklands. A free kick against Silvani for a shove in the marking contest with Kemp. And Tom De Koning slowly gets to his feet as the trainer comes racing out. It's like a scene from MASH at the moment. The Medicos are in demand.
Were you a BJ Honeycutt man or a Trapper John man?
Little before my time.
Oh, you ever watch MASH? Come on, man.
And all of a sudden, the Blues have the chance to open up a sizable gap with Brodie Kemp having footy in hand. He was able to put through a season-high 5 goals last week against the Brisbane Lions. Out to the right. He'll kick from just inside 50. Leans back on and misses out to the right. Misses everything. Our man Ian Burrows from the ABC with the arms outstretched, out of bounds on the full. No change to the score. Carlton leading by 13 points. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
He's been in the wars recently. Tom De Koning had the weeks out with the broken ribs. In the game against Sydney, spent time off the ground with a suspected hamstring injury. seems okay here, which is good news for the Saints. Burns from the back pocket, kicks them up to the wing off the hands of Pitnet. Cowan's at the 4, gets a handball knocked away by Lake. Cripps goes in and picks it up. Handball for Florent. Blues on the wing, though Florent can't take it cleanly. Sockers it infield. Need from Hewitt. Nice pick up around the bootlaces. Off to Pitnet, to Cottrell, to Hewitt. They're going backwards here, the Blues.
Hand pass to Wilson. Now to the run of Walsh, who tucks the footy under his arm. Draws an opponent. Hand pass to Chera. Tries to give it back to Walsh. Just got around Hall. Hand pass for Cottrell. They've got this forward to Louis Young. Now to Cripps. Can the captain finish? No. Off balance, running full tilt. He just squeezes it in for a behind to the right. That would have been some sort of finish.
That was Globetrotter-esque.
Yeah,
you look at Carlton, they're lining up with numbers in the corridor. They're absolutely dominating the corridor on any stoppages, any turnover. It's one to watch that St Kilda need to start getting some density through the corridor.
Hill with a long kick towards the wing and off hands. Windhager quickly tackled. Ball up City side of the ground. No one's kicked the first goal of the game. It was 4 minutes in. The Blues with the next 3. Carlton leading by 14.
You blokes have never watched MASH.
Nah, it's a bit before my time as well.
My pop used to watch it.
I'm going to whack it, Dad.
Blues win it back across their half-back line as Haynes moves it on.
You've missed out.
To the run of Dirksen, who has a complete U-turn, goes back the other way and chips it to Haynes. Inside his defensive 50 here for Carlton.
Hawkeye Pearce.
In their predominantly white kit with the blue trimmings. St Kilda in their traditional 3-panel jumper, the red, white and black with the black shorts.
Colonel Potter.
Haynes short to Cowan, who tries to pinpoint a pass towards the wing. Akers gets it off hands and the Blues have it again. Away to Hewitt.
He does a full 360 and gets the hand pass back to Cowan. A left half back for the Blues. Tries to dink a kick up towards Akers. It won't get there. With Carlton leading by 14 points and Mason Wood takes the intercepting mark. He's going to chip it back to Cal Wilkie. Gives us a chance to go down to Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, the Docs on the Saints bench are incredibly busy. Darcy Wilson, they were plugging his nose up because there was some blood coming from there. Some concern about deconing, but he is going to stay out there. And Liam Ryan is still in the rooms having his shoulder looked at. So the doctors are in hot demand down here.
Thanks, Poppy. The kick from Wilkie up the wing, looking for Rowan Marshall. It's spoiled away from him and goes out of play. So Nasai Wanganeen-Millerite with a hamstring injury 8 minutes into the game. And then Liam Ryan coming from the field only about 4 minutes after that. The Saints have been in the wars early. It's the Blues who lead by 14 points. Marshall does the ruck work and then the roving. Kicks up towards the 50. Higgins had it spoiled away by Billy Wilson. Running onto it, Akers. Fends off the tackle from Hall. Kicks around his body, end over end. Hewitt gathers. Creative little toe poke. Got it up to Frankie Evans. Now to McGovern. Looks to half forward. Taylor Byrne one direction. Stocker the other. And Stocker takes a good contested mark. He immediately flares the kick out to right half back, where Mason Wood marks and works it over the top by foot to Windhager.
Carlton by 14.
Georgie Hewitt's got a bit of a limp up on the mark, or getting to the mark.
Windhager kicks around the wing. Pitnet stands tall, takes the intercept mark. The Blues back with it. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Right, Liam Ryan's just come back up from the rooms and he's doing some run-throughs and having a little bit of back and forth with someone in the crowd as well. But it looks like he's going to try and test that shoulder out. And Harry Mackay for Carlton was having some work on his hip from that big hit earlier in the match.
Thanks, Poppy. Pitnet kicks around the wing, punched out of play, and doesn't matter too much because there's a free kick picked out. It'll go the way of Caminiti. Carlton 14 points to the good, closing in on quarter time. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Short kick from Caminiti, moves it away to Mason Wood.
Colonel Potter had a horse called Sophie. And I'll tell you a story. He looked after her, after the filming, he looked after that horse till her dying days. What a lovely story that is.
It's a nice story, half, as Wood moves it on to Windhager. Driving ball inside 50 for the Saints. Dirksen fists it away, Burns onto it. Outside of the boot, Cowan at the top of his defensive goal square. Marks for Carlton. They're 14 points to the good.
3-3-21 to St Kilda 1-1-7. Cowan kicks into the back pocket, finds Sam Walsh. Cripps leads the way with 10 disposals for the Blues. Hewitt leads the way with 10. Cripps with 8 and Evans with 8 as well. Long kick out of defence up towards the pack. Louis Young flies there. McGovern trying to lock it up. Blake Akers as well. The umpire will ball it up. So right half forward for St Kilda. Kicked the first goal of the match. The Blues with the next 3.
Carlton have had the better looks, haven't they, Chad? That last kick inside 50 is going to be interesting, but as the Saints get a look here.
All of a sudden, 14-8, the inside 50s. Make that 9 as Rowan Marshall takes it out of the ruck, kicks inside 50. And Mitch Owens leading out, marks in the right forward pocket.
so they'll be ruining some opportunities lost at the other end of the ground, the Blues. It hasn't been overly systematic the way the ball's been entering the forward half, or the forward 50 in particular, for the Saints at the moment.
Owens kicked the opening goal of the match. Now St Kilda need him to try and come up big here. Deep in the right forward pocket from 45 metres out. Kicks across the face and just scrapes in for a minor score to the left. Carlton's lead is 13 points. So we tick past 28 minutes gone in the opening term.
Wilson taking the kick in short, moves it to Florin, who dabs it back to him. Wilson gives it back to Florin, who will kick out towards the dock side of the wing. Lord spills the mark. Time to recover. Just pushed as he kicked. It'll dribble away to Ainsworth. Fires the handball back to Cowan. Waits a kick for Taylor Byrne. He marks.
Clever kick, Cowan.
Carlton just working it down the dock side of the ground. Byrne chisels the ball deep inside, attacking 50. Up they go, through the hands out the back. Trying to get onto it, McGovern. Hall's there. Cleans up for the Saints. Handball away towards Mackay. He's tackled quickly. And a ball upcoming 37 seconds away from quarter time. The Saints are going to lose their fourth opening term of the year. Carlton leading by 13.
Caminiti's going to do the ruck work against Pitnet. As Pitnet tried to take it out of the ruck, it ricochets back to him. Fires a hand pass out, goes through the hands of Boxall. Jagger Smith, hand pass to Walsh, off balance, can't curl it through.
That's not it. He had a shot from there. That's a bad play from Walsh.
Out of bounds on the full, and Marcus Winhager lets him know about it, that maybe there might have been another option on offer there.
Which McGovern certainly did in the goal square.
Yeah, I would have definitely centred that one.
You've got a chance you centred that one.
Ryan Burns takes the free kick for the Saints, sends it up towards half-back. To Koning, flies from behind, spoils it down. Got it to Stocker. Half pass to Garcia. Kicks up the wing. Cowan with the intercepting mark for the Blues.
Cowan sends it deep towards a warmish sort of spot. And back there, Burns stands tall in the pack. 178 centimetres of him, and takes the intercept mark for the Saints. Kicks laterally, and that will end the quarter. Carlton leading by 13 points at the first change. As I said, St Kilda just the fourth time this year they've lost an opening term, the best first quarter side in the comp. 3-3-21 plays 1-8. Owens kicked the first goal. Then it was Pitnet, Evans and Mackay for the Blues to make it 3-1 at the first change. Poppy Penny quickly.
Yeah, Ross Lyon just came down to the bench and had a really animated chat with Mateus Philippou. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of gesturing, so he may be looking at some kind of role change, or Ross, wants a little bit more out of him, because it was a pretty animated back and forth.
Don't say it was stern though, Poppy. You'll get yourself into trouble.
You'll get feedback.
I steered well clear of that word. Thanks very much. You said it, not me.
And at the very back of that pack is Nasai Wangane-Miller with that left hamstring heavily taped with ice. And at the moment...
Yep, that's a big story.
His legs are moving like icy pole sticks as he tries to hobble his way over to the St Kilda dugout. It's the Blues who lead by 13 points at quarter time. After earlier, it was the Magpies who recorded a 19-point victory over the West Coast Eagles. 17-15, 117 to the Eagles, 15-8, 98. McStay, Schultz and Membry all kicked 3 goals for Collingwood, while Jack Waterman booted 3 goals for the West Coast Eagles. While the Gold Coast Suns also snapped a 10-game losing streak. They defeated the Giants by 2 points, 11-13, 79. To the Giants, 11-11, 77. Matt Rao with 40 disposals, 17 clearances and 16 tackles, while Toot Miller booted 3 goals for the winners. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Alan Jones was a broadcasting powerhouse. Now he's in court fighting charges of indecent assault and sexual touching. To follow the trial, what's alleged and how it's challenged, search for the Case Of podcast on ABC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Decides to send it long and high inside the forward 50 in the direction of Sharman and a Mitch Owens, who juggles the mark in the right forward pocket, only about 20 metres out from goal. For the Dream Star for the Saints, he opens up the angle and curls through the opener. Inside 4.5 minutes, St Kilda are on the board. Tom de Koning trying to get rid of Pitnet illegally, says the umpire. And it's going to result in a shot on goal. There's a bit of pushing and shoving taking place off the ball. Pitnet looking for the Blues first. From 35 metres out, he steers it through. Carlton are on the board after 7.5 minutes. We're locked up at one straight 6 apiece.
Wangane Malera roves it off hands, gives it to Hall. St Kilda ball. Oh, Naz has done a hammy.
Yep.
Nasira has done his hammy, reaching for that ball. He's hobbling off. Back feeds it to Hayward, back pocket. Who thinks a kick from Mackay, and he's got it. 30 out. There was a centering backwards pass. And Mackay will go back and kick for goal from 35 out. A plumb line to go. Big H, Harry Mackay comes in and slams it through.
Coney's down.
Tom DeConey is grabbing at his right shoulder, still in the middle of Docklands. It's like a scene from MASH at the moment. The Mancos are in demand.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Quarter time in Docklands, the final game of round 22, and it's the Blues who lead by 13 points. 3-3-21 to the Saints 1-2-8. Messiah Wanganeen-Miller out with a hamstring injury after 8 minutes, while Liam Ryan also came to the bench with a shoulder injury, but he looks like he will be able to continue the game. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
Yeah, I think it's been a great game. I mean, it's pretty even in the contest in terms of the clearances. Carlton's only just up by 1, but where the game is one here is just inside 50s. I mean, 17-9 favouring Carlton, but where they're not making it count is marks inside forward 50, and that's the last part of the cherry on top, the money kick, that they're just not quite hitting. They're coming with a real avenue of just kicking long to a contest, which is really strange for a team that's not marking a lot of it, doesn't have a prowess down there that's going to mark those contested marks. And you've got Wilkie, who's one of the best intercept markers, who hasn't been dominant yet. So for me, for Carlton, I feel like they need to lower their eyes a little bit, try and find some marks, getting closer towards that 50 metre and then changing the angles, because what they're doing at the moment is just not getting the reward for the amount of inside 50s. I mean, 2 marks inside 50 for 17 inside 50s is just not the recipe for success so far, even though they are up in the battle. But they do have 4 tackles inside forward 50, so they are bringing the heat. They just need to make sure that they're lowering their eyes and finding other avenues rather than just bombing it long and hoping for a mark.
I reckon it's a good point, Chad. And if you just go through some of the numbers you took, the contest numbers are pretty straightforward. It's 29-30, clearances are 10-11, so nothing too much there. But it's outside. It's when the ball's in flow. Outside post-clearance stuff is what you hear the modern terms thrown around. What happens post-clearance and post-contest, that's where the Blues are really having their way. 27 uncontested marks, 76 uncontested possessions to 41. So they're 35 more just in that first quarter alone, which is an extraordinary number against a team like the Saints that normally defend so well in the open field. So that's where Ross Lyon's really got to tighten things up, and that's where his number one concern will be, because as we know, he's not too concerned about the players that aren't out there. We know that Naz has done the string now, and he can't do anything about that. Brad Hill got back out there, so that's a help. So he can't be worried about not having Naz. He's got to find a way to manufacture some speed on the outside, some defence on the outside once the ball gets out of the little bubble. And I wouldn't mind betting, to Poppy's information before, that Philippou conversation was, we need you, mate. This is a time for you to step up and give a bit back here. We've invested a lot in you. We've given you a lot of opportunity. This is the time we need you. Naz is down. You can be the one to change the game for us and get us back on track.
So the players heading out into position. The Blues leading by 13 points. And Lenny Hayes chatting to Messiah Wanganeen-Miller as the players headed out to be addressed by Ross Lyon, off of Carlton. The spirits are high after their big win last week against the reigning premiers. A chance for them to try and lock their spot inside the top 10.
I mentioned the fact that it's only the 4th time this season that St Kilda have lost an opening quarter. On all 3 of the other occasions, they've gone on to lose the game. So it's not a great omen.
So we're ready to get the second quarter underway on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Pitnet and Tom DeConey resume their battle in the middle of the ground. DeConey wins down the tap to Hall. Got it away to Winhager. Gets the first clearance of the Saints up towards the attacking 50. And Wood was worked underneath it. It spills to the back. Higgins is onto it. Fires towards goal. That's a great start. Inside 15 seconds. As Jack Higgins snaps truly. And the Saints have fired out of a rocket. Start promisingly this second quarter. The Blues lead cut back to 7 points. 3-3-21 to St Kilda. 2-2-14. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with you on ABC Sport.
That's unbelievable. Let's not take for granted how hard that was. I mean, he's taken that ball, jumped, taken the mark, taken 2 steps and chucked it on his left from about 40 metres out. That is what a small forward, and that's what a crafty player such as him. He's been a high calibre player for St Kilda and obviously Richmond as well, but that's a tough finish. I mean, someone who's jumped, taken off 2 steps, turned his body and just whacked it through the middle of the sticks. I mean, that's great stuff for St Kilda, and they need that. They need to win this centre clearance again.
Philippou in the centre bounce too at the start of this quarter. So I reckon Poppy was spot on.
Won St Kilda's goal kicking the last 3 seasons, Jack Higgins. Moves to 28 with that goal. Liam Ryan on 30 at the moment. Neither ruck decisive. Ball hits the deck. Cripps fires out a handball for Walsh. He has it pinched by Hall of St Kilda. Bouncing handball to the wing. Onto it, Philippou. He'll back feed the handball. Back to Burns. Back to Hill. Hill will look infield. Runs around his opponent. Chips it short. And finds De Koning, who gets the jeers. 100 games flat for the Blues. He sends it inside, attacking 50. Going back, Pitnet drops the mark. Coming through, Boxall. Can't quite take it cleanly. Marshall goes in. Ball comes out for the Blues, and Dirksen gives it to Pitnet. Caught. Wilson picks it up, jams it on the boot. Floats it on goal. It won't make the distance. And back there, Chera's able to mark on the last line.
He chips it across the face of goal and finds Ollie Florent. He's going to get 50 against Liam Ryan. Overstood on the mark, stepped on the mark according to the umpire. Relieves the pressure for the Blues as Florent is taken from the last line of defence in the right back pocket to centre half back. And now Ryan's not even standing the mark. He's happy to concede 10 metres. St Kilda get numbers back. Florent drives it straight down the middle. Clears Frankie Evans and Stocker. Ricochets off Caminiti. Stocker takes it for the Saints. Kicks out towards space. At left half forward for the Blues. Leading the foot race, Akers. He lets it trickle out of play. That'll be a lasso free kick for Carlton. So Clever, realising it came off a St Kilda kick. Comes inboard to Chera. Spending more time behind the ball with the rise of Jagger Smith. Adam Chera plays on to the right. Pierces a kick into the 50. Ainsworth couldn't take the mark, but he's first back onto it. Hand pass to Hewitt. He drives a kick inside 50 for the Blues towards the goal square. Pinning there. Just got rid of Tom De Koning and takes the mark slightly left of centre, 30 metres out from goal.
Well, he's a slightly left of centre forward target, isn't he? But what a strong performance that was, one-on-one.
Might have a point to prove tonight.
I would think so. Yeah. Who needs you, mate? I'll do it myself. He's to Tom De Koning.
Might have got a poke into the eye to add insult to injury by the fact that he was beaten by his fellow ruck in the air. And Mark Pitnet, a chance at a second goal. Out to the left, drives it through. The Blues answer after St Kilda's opening goal of this second quarter, and it's back to a 13-point lead Carlton's way. Mark Pitnet did kick 3 goals earlier in the season. He has been in goal-kicking form, 9 goals for the year. In the absence of Tom De Koning, who crossed town to Moorabbin in the off-season. Carlton 4-3-27 to St Kilda 2-2-14. Tick past 4 minutes in the second quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
I know it ended in a goal, Chad, but I didn't like the entry again.
I was about to say that. It was a hoping kick.
Yeah.
But talk about Pitnet, it's got a point to prove. He did lose the battle last week in the hit-out, so pretty monstrously against obviously Draper and Dort. So he's obviously winning the hit-out count now 9-5 in terms of just the one-on-one matchup.
Oh.
What's happened there?
One umpire threw it to the other umpire. I thought it was a
baller.
Low baller. Yeah, did that do you in as well, Huff?
Yeah, it did.
A little optical illusion from here. Back in the middle. We're ready to go now. Pitnet slaps it down. Walsh roves it, kicks the Blues towards full forward. Caminiti does well. Reaches over, punches it away, but McGovern's onto it. Tries to hook a snap back centrally. And Silvani, who dislocated his shoulder last week, bravely smothers it out. Throw in right forward pocket. In for the Blues, Poppy Penny.
Carlton fans are also pretty happy with how well Pitnet's going today. They're more than happy to give it to Tom De Koning.
Thanks, Poppy. 0437 774 774 is the SMS number if you want to get in touch with us tonight. Marshall wins down the tap, racing after it. Philippou, Hewitt after him, lays the tackle and the ball goes out of play.
What's your favourite MASH character?
Yes. Well, the three of us were no good to you.
Ah, yeah, useless. Because once Colonel Pottle went, Colonel Henry Blake came in. He was the CO of the unit there at MASH, 4077.
Watched a few episodes, but can't recall the characters like you can. Pitnet takes it out of the ruck, inside 50. Ainsworth got underneath it in the end. He dropped the mark, and now he wrestles with the ball with Brad Hill at ground level. Umpire waits a few moments to see if it'll merge. It won't, as Ryan Burns has it locked to him.
I actually think it's Half's secret ability. I'll come back to that as we get a ball up, and Pitnet and also Marshall both share it. Ball hits the deck, socket on there by Chera, cleaned up by Wilson. He gives it off towards Evans, handball towards Lake, who pinches it back for the Saints. At halfback, he gives it to Filippo. Kick up towards Pitnet. 2-on-1 at Cowan. Marks for Carlton. Kicks it infield and finds Chera. So the Blues looking to recycle it from centre half back. They lead by 13 as Chera chips it away to Walsh.
Walsh looks through the middle of the ground, spots George Hewitt, who takes the mark just to the right of the centre circles. Walsh trying to get around the back. Umpire prevents that. He's going to send it laterally. So welcome listeners who join us from the NRL to Docklands in Melbourne. It's the Blues who lead by 13 points over St Kilda, 4-3-27. So St Kilda 2-2-14. As Akers and Cottrell combine. And eventually the kick finds Frankie Evans just inside 50 out to the right. It's the Blues who lead by 13 points at quarter time, 3-1. But a hamstring injury to Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller in the opening 8 minutes. He's done for the match. The superstar Saint. What role that might have on the Saints' chances of featuring in the top 10. Evans starts his approach outside 50, has a goal in the opening quarter. He won't fire here, sends it towards the top of the goal square. It clears Mackay. Caminiti had a big piece of it. I said it'll be paid the mark.
Caminiti gives the handball to Hill. He chips it over the top for Silvani. Oh, his kick is short and it's chopped off by Cottrell. So the Navy blue blood himself, Jack Silvani, the third-generation Blue who defected to St Kilda, broadly jeered by the Carlton fans, as you would probably expect. And Cottrell punching it out, or Lord rather, I should say, I think was the player who got involved. Was distracted by the jeers for Jack Silvani. Throw in half forward. Both rucks miss it. Wilson gathers for the Saints. Gives it off to Boxall, who kicks up to half forward. Ryan goes up early, can't take the mark. Coming through Lake, tries to paddle it on, goes in again. Unable to take it cleanly, has to turn tackler on Frankie Evans. And a ball up. Centre half forward here for the Saints. Carlton lead by 13. 8 played second term.
Stock is on Evans, and Evans is getting off the chain here. Be mindful of that.
Marshall one down the tap to Hall, trying to get it to the back of Cooper Sharman. It spills out to Jack Higgins through the head back. Umpire spotted it. We'll get a free kick for a high tackle against Adam Chera. It's one of those awkward ones where Higgins is leading up to the footy. Chera's going back with the ball bouncing away from him, but it's hard to argue that he didn't get Higgins high and realised that he was going to be in a more favourable position and perhaps made sure the umpire saw it.
Yeah, you just got to be more clever with the way you approach the ball. If you're Adam Cherry, you're not going to get there first. So you know the players are going to start to lead and roll their shoulders and lower, looking for the free kick, particularly a player like Jack Higgins who does it for a living. So you just got to be better in that scenario. Just sloppy.
Higgins kicked a goal inside 15 seconds to start the second quarter. To double up here. He misses from directly in front, 45 metres out to the left-hand side. Carlton lead by 12 points without Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. The Saints are going to need a new hero tonight.
Florin waits the kick in beautifully and finds Dean. Marks right on the arc of defensive 50. Carlton by 12. 9 played second term. Dean kicks around the wing, looking for Hayward. Up he goes, hands to it, Wood. Spoils it out of play. And a throw-in coming. Is there a chopping of the arms there, Chad and half?
I thought so.
He's been physical today, Mason Wood. It's got a bit of an edge to him, yeah.
So a boundary throw-in right beneath us. Carlton leading by 12 points, nearly 10 played in the second.
Had a bit of trouble getting the SMS number up, but there's been some correspondence for half around mash.
Here we go.
Trying to knock it out. Mason Wood will get a free kick for in the back.
Here we go.
Well, he's talked about it enough. You know, someone use it.
It was one of those long-running American shows as Mason Wood drives it inside 50. Didn't quite get to the back for Cooper Sharman. It's hacked away by Pitnet, who volleys it up the wing. Gathered by Haywood. He's tackled and brought down by Mason Wood, holding the ball.
Oh, geez, they're lucky.
Hunter Clark for half a second was about to take the advantage. It was a good decision not to. He gave it back to Mason Wood, who kicks it into the middle of the ground, and Brad Hill takes the mark. He swings it out to the outer wing. Now Cal Wilkie, the co-captain's got forward. He's attacking side on the outer wing. He spots a free player all on his own. That's Ryan Burns, who marks at left half forward. Burns looks to drive it high and long. Marshall and De Koning are both down there. It clears De Koning's fingertips right into the open goal. Liam Ryan perfectly crumbing it there and puts through his first goal of the night with a clipped shoulder. And the Saints close the margin back to 6 points Carlton's way. 4-3-27 the Blues to St Kilda 3-3-21. That was concerning how easily Liam Ryan walked into the open goal.
Well, Liam Ryan was actually by himself in the pocket. I actually thought that's where he was going to go with the ball. And the reason why he was by himself, it just allowed him to obviously go to that contest by himself as well. So he wasn't trailed, he wasn't having any body on him, and just he was able to dictate exactly where he wanted to run. So as you see when he gets the ball, there's no one on him within 4 metres. But so there was obviously a misassignment there, miscommunication, because he actually could have got a mark uncontested in that pocket as well. So reward for effort. Again, it's good to see. Hopefully that can light up a bit of spark in him, and hopefully that shoulder starts to feel a little bit better after a goal. I'll tell you that for free.
Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Tom De Koning's just come off and gone straight down the rooms with a doctor and a physio, so that's one to watch. He's obviously not 100% right.
St Kilda are under the pump. They lost Nasai Wanganeen-Malera earlier on in the game with a hamstring injury. Restart in the middle. Going after it is Cripps. Akers comes in to pick it up for the Blues. Handball to Florent. Trying to work his way through them. Handball to Cripps. Middle of Docklands. Waits his kick neatly. And a leading Burns. He'll chisel it inside 50 and finds Ainsworth on a lateral lead. It looked like the kick went over the head of Harry.
It's another poor entry. That's what it is.
So he was aiming for Harry.
He was 100% aiming for Harry.
Ainsworth wants to move it on quickly. The snap from 40. He goes bang. Carlton back out by 2 goals. 5-3-33. Plays 3-3-21. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard. It's better to be lucky than good.
Correct. They don't draw pitches. They just put the number in the book, and that's what they did there for Ainsworth and the Blues. Look, they're giving themselves the chance. But what it speaks to is the composure of Carlton tonight. They've been really good when there's been pressure around the ball, or there's balls that have been popped up in the air. They've got to grab it, come down and avoid contact. They haven't rushed. They haven't felt the tendency to force anything. They've just made really good decisions. They've driven their legs through tackles and contests to create the overlap, draw another defender in, find the free player. And even in moments like that, it wasn't meant for Ainsworth, but he was watching the ball. He made a good decision to stay watching the ball, and it ended up in his lap.
So the Blues stretch it back to a 12-point advantage. Back in the middle of the ground. Marshall follows up his ruck work. Got it to Boxall. The hand pass to Garcia at half-back. Needed support, but the hand pass to Hunter Clark. High up and under kick, in which Hill's underneath it. Akers the other direction. Hill lands a little awkwardly. Phillippo knocks it out to Mason Wood. Winhager stripped of it in the tackle. And Akers will take the free kick for holding the ball as Brad Hill is down. Hand pass inward to Jagger Smith. Releases the run of Wilson. Kicks over the head of Frankie Evans as Silvani takes the mark. Poppy Penny, Brad Hill down in front of you.
Yeah, he's holding his left knee. The doctor and the physio are out there with him, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
I'm going to stop the game here.
Yep. So the umpire is stopping the game, and as Ross Lyons night couldn't get any worse, Brad Hill's pointing to the outside of his left knee.
It was in a marking contest, went back with the flight, and he kind of landed, got bumped in midair, then landed and kind of jabbed. It was almost like a hyperextension, but wasn't quite. It wasn't like a nasty hyperextension, but you just don't know what's been impacted in that.
Yeah, it's the stiff leg land.
Yeah. And he got bumped as he landed, so he wasn't in control.
Jack Silvani sends it up the wing. Louis Young makes the spoil, running onto it. Stocker, hand pass to Phillippo, over the top. Hand pass a little loose for Max Hall. Dean crashes into him. The Carlton fans rise. Phillippo keeps it alive against the boundary line. Hand pass inboard. Back to Mason Wood. It ricocheted off his shin. Cowan gathers for the Blues. Spins out of a tackle. Hand pass to Akers. Here's Harry Dean. The Colt following. He kicks up towards Evans.
What a kick.
The Colt following. He has it at left half forward. Pierces the kick inside 50.
What a kick.
McGovern marks.
Go and get Harry Dean's autograph right now.
About 5 Carlton players have. They've all come around him and said, how good was that?
That's
his teammates did game.
He gets the big
his
body.
First goal last week, Harry Dean. He is a fan favourite, Poppy Penny.
His teammates all got to him massively after that. They all got around him. Really great to see.
The big bump on Maxie Hall on the boundary at half-back, and he gets it ball back and lasers one to the only possible option and doesn't let him break stride.
And now Mitch McGovern on the runway from
Mitch! Oh, come on!
Misses to the
left-hand
side.
Sold the clip.
A goal assist for Harry Dean, not to be. Carlton lead by 13 points, 15 minutes gone, second quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
We're just wild about Harry.
Oh, yeah. Another movie reference, see, from Daniel Harford. I'm telling you, it's his hidden talent as the kick goes up to the wing and off hands out of play. I know doing the ABC AFL Daily podcast that if I reference a song or a movie with Daniel Harford, he'll come with me on the lyrics or the quote or whatever it is. He's got all of these things down. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Mason Wood just stood at the interchange bench begging for someone to come off for him. They're already looking pretty cooked and they could be down to 2 on the bench, St Kilda.
That's a real problem. As Carlton win it back from the boundary throw in. Jagger Smith kicks dangerously corridor. Boxall just slaps it on. Florent will take it for the Blues. Spins out of one tackle into another. Gets it to Akers. Off to Cowan through the bullseye. Low bullet-like pass. McGovern can't pick it up. Trying to on the half volley and Stocker's there. And he'll clear it towards the dockside wing.
Garcia couldn't take the chest mark, bounced off him. Florent came in from the side and Hewitt breaks the tackle of Winhager, but never saw Filippo behind him. Tackled it holding the ball. Advantage taken by Darcy Wilson. Got it to Garcia. Arches the back into the middle of the ground. Gets a hand pass away to Hall, who looks out laterally. Higgins is on the lead. He'll get it on the bounce. He's outside 50 now though. Hand pass a little loose for Ryan Burns, who races back after it. Haywood after him. Gets the hand pass up the wing to Wilkie, who kicks to Liam Ryan. Nudged Haynes underneath it. Now needs to deal with Cowan. Almost led her head first into the contact. The ball spills out. It's socketed in 550 by Cooper Sharman. Owens runs onto it. His hand pass a little loose in the end for Hall. Louis Young gets back for the Blues. Gets the hand pass to Dirksen. Kicks a spiralling ball. It didn't spin right. And O'Connell takes the mark for the Saints between wing and half forward.
He'll poke it to Clark. 70 out from goal.
Cook the Saints.
St Kilda ball. He shorts it for Hall. They've got injured players everywhere. On champion data, the computer in front of us, Nasai Wangani Malira is highlighted in black. That means he's out of the game. And as Hall kicks long to full forward, finds Sharman. Always spring-heeled. Doesn't come down with the mark, and the Blues win it through Dean. At fullback to Hewitt. To Jagger Smith, who lifts the kick looking for Akers. Right there with him, O'Connell. Akers does well. Slaps it away to Chera, who feeds the handball through a car window out to Mackay, but he turns it over with the snap.
Jack Silvani was waiting for that kick up the wing. Got the Bronx cheers as he gathered the half volley awkwardly and then gave it to Boxall, who kicks out to Darcy Wilson. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Mason Wood has come off and he's having his calf worked on, so that's not good news for St Kilda. But in better news, Tom De Koning is up and doing some run-throughs on the boundary line now, so it looks like he's going to try and test out that right shoulder.
All right, thank you, Poppy. Cottrell takes it back for the Blues. Hand pass to Cripps, to Chera, not 15, to Harry Mackay. He's tackled by Caminiti when he didn't have the footy. So it will be a Carlton free kick on the wing.
Yeah, so you get to your champion data conversation. Hill's in blue, Wood's in blue, and De Koning's in blue, which means they're under assessment. It's 4 of the 5.
Yeah.
One fifth player on the bench for the minute. Haynes takes it back for the Blues, kicks up to Blake Akers, who marks at left half back. Carlton by 13 points, 5-4-34. The Saints 3-3-21. 18 minutes gone, second quarter. After Carlton led by 13 points at quarter time, Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts. Hewitt takes it from Haynes, chips it in the middle of the ground, and Jagger Smith takes the mark. Perfect 10 in the coaches' votes last week in their big win over the Brisbane Lions. It's rare company and players to have done that under the age of 21. Chris Judd was one of the other names on the list. Very handy footballer. Sends it to Florent, kicks up the wing. Taylor Burns back with the flight, tries to knock it on. Frankie Evans got down low. Silvani the other direction. The umpire says it will be a free kick. Evans' way for high contact.
Poppy Penny.
Brad Hill is back up and he's just done some run-throughs and he's smiling on the bench with Naz, so it looks like he's also going to come back on. Mason Wood testing out that calf at the moment, so it's mixed news for Saints fans at the moment.
It's hard to keep up with as Evans kicks a low bullet into the pocket, overshoots the target, ball skips out. Throwing right forward pocket for the Blues. They lead by 13.
21-9 uncontested possession, uncontested marks this quarter.
Koning and Young. Young punches it on. Silvani cluttered into by Mackay. Right into the sore shoulder. Spills out to Hewitt, who snaps and misses. Couldn't quite get the purchase on it. Carlton by 14. Time on second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Poppy Penny.
Mason Wood is into the rooms for St Kilda. I am booked and busy down here, guys. This is my 6th quarter of footy for the day.
Hard to keep up with all the injured players on the St Kilda bench. That's not a great kick out of defence. Dean takes it. Hand pass to Lord inside 50. Clears Frankie Evans. Might have been a late bump.
It's coming back. It's not going to be downfield. It's a free kick at the kick for the Blues.
So for Mitch Owens, a push in the back on Harry Dean, so the ball's coming back rather than inside forward 50 where it finished up.
So it gives the Saints a chance to get the numbers back and defend.
Carlton by 14 points. Harry Dean pulls his kick. What a pass. And finds Hayward out wide in the right forward pocket. He's 45 metres out from goal, but that is a superb pass.
Jeez, put him in the midfield. The way he's delivering to the forwards.
Elegant, isn't he?
Isn't he?
Peter Dean ever kicked the ball like that?
Not like that. The great Peter Dean. Good evening.
It's great seeing all the dads down at training for the Blues during the week. It's one of the things they do so well. The AFLW girls were getting the players and the parents all to join in a dance as Hayward is looking to finish here out to the right. It's a good looking kick off the boot. And Will Hayward pumps his chest. Carlton finally gets some reward for their inside 50s dominance, and they lead by 20 points. The last 2 goals of the match, 6-5-41 to St Kilda 3-3-21. We've ticked past 21 minutes gone in the second quarter. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with you on ABC Sport.
And that was such a clever kick. I mean, Harry Dean's had the 2 best inside 50 kicks so far this game.
Yep.
The reason why it was so good is that Wilkie was actually behind the ball by himself, exactly where you think that Carlton have been kicking it this whole game. Long down the line, 15 metres away from goal. And all he does is just pull the kick to an advantage of his teammate and allows him to have another mark inside 50. Set shots are the easiest avenue to goal instead of just getting a contested mark. And it's pretty hard when you're you're giving up one, and that one is Wilkie. So what a brilliant kick.
Last 2 goals of the game going the way of the Blues. Hitting it into Koning in the ruck. The latter taps it out to Garcia. Saints ball onto Wilson by hand, who floats a kick. Chera soccers it on. Able to get onto it though. Hall for St Kilda wins it on the wing. Off to Wilson, who takes on Chera. Runs around him. Chera gets him. Grabbed him by the shorts. Handball goes out. Lasso free kick. Great chase, Adam Chera. Bringing the defensive pressure. And the Blues win it back on their back flank. Going the way of Akers, who handballs it to Walsh. And he'll kick to Haynes at fullback.
Swings it all the way back.
It's composed again, the Blues.
This kick, a little risky, but it does find the intended target. And Cooper Lord, who marks it right half back. And just the transformation in 11 weeks under Josh Fraser. They were so shaky at times when they try and do this. Now a newborn confidence. Cooper Lord sends it up the wing. What a kick to Hewitt, who rises and marks against Windhager. Hand pass to Wilson. His kick is a turnover. Caminiti getting back. Marks at left half back. Carlton by 20 points.
Gee, this could be a significant margin if the Blues were able to get some connection centre forward.
Caminiti to Windhager. Gave it to Brad Hill. Good to see him back out there, dodging and weaving. Kicks out to Darcy Wilson. 2-year contract extension for him. Got it to Cal Wilkie. Sends it up towards Higgins. The one blue there. Nick Haynes slides in front of Higgins and Lake and takes intercepting mark. He shins a kick over the top, but it does find Jagger Smith.
He's been good this season, Nick Haynes. When the Blues last year after being an unrestricted free agent from GWS. His kick went to Jagger Smith, who works around the man on the mark, kicks for Hayward off his hands. Pitnet can't take it cleanly. It ricochets off his chest out of play. Throwing 80 around from the attacking goal here for the Blues.
They're ripping apart the St Kilda zone in the press. The Kangaroos did this a couple of weeks ago at this venue. We called that game, and the Kangaroos were able to transition really effectively and get out the back of the Saints. They're pulling them apart. They're using the width of the ground, the Blues. They're pulling them apart by going back through the middle.
Carlton by 20. Both rucks miss it. Filippo picks it up for St Kilda. Gives it off to Hill, to Wilson, to Filippo. Stripped in the tackle. Ball jars free. Cottrell picks it up. Off to Walsh. Snaps. Goals! They're irresistible, the Blues. Carlton by 26. 7-5-47 plays 3-3-21. 25 minutes into their second term. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
Well, it's numbers in the screen. It's the old coaching reference. Numbers in the screen. Carlton always seemingly have more numbers in the screen. Their pressure's been really good. It's a great tackle by Evans. And then the poor old Saints were left flat-footed where the ball was. And they just couldn't surge forward like the Blues did on that occasion. Walsh gets the goal, but it's the work done up the field that makes it happen. And that's what they celebrated, the Blues.
And it's an important last probably 4 or 5 minutes here. You think about St Kilda just down to 2 on the bench. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple double switches, make the opponents run. You've got to make St Kilda burn out here. So whether you can attack the back of the bubble or whether you can attack the width, they need to make them work.
Sam Walsh up to 12 disposals over 220 metres and now a goal. He becomes the 6th individual goal kicker. Trying to get the clearance here. His kick is smothered by Hall, a little too slow. Drives it inside 50. Mitch Owens back with a flight. Can't take the mark against Haynes. Dirksen tries to slap it towards the boundary line. Owens kept his footing. Hand pass in. Pinched by Marshall. Kicks to the goal square and Chera ricochets it into the post. A minor score. Carlton by 25 points. Now, GP's been in touch on the SMS, 0437 774 774. He says, half, you had it the wrong way around. Cole Potter replaced Cole Blake.
Cole Potter
solid.
Replaced Cole Blake?
Apparently so.
Is he sure about that?
GP,
I'm going to check that.
Chera kicks out to Hayward, who drops the mark, turns bumper on Cal Wilkie, sends him out. Boundary throwing 80 around from the attacking goal for the Saints.
Malcolm says, half, I see you as a Klinger-type character.
That's very funny if you knew the show.
Blake was first, then Potter in terms of characters. Has to be Klinger or Raider.
Yeah, Raider O'Reilly.
Brendan from Hobart says, half, I figure you more as a Hot Lips Houlihan.
Yeah, there you go. Margaret Houlihan. Major Houlihan.
The Koning taps it inside 50. All able to get it out to Lake, who gives it to Windhager. Centering ball, trying to find a target there. Unable to mark Sharman. Ball comes off his chest, taken by Haynes, who pinpoints it to Cottrell's chest. And Carlton, they just hold up again and got it. 40 out from their defensive goal. They lead by 25. We've played 27 minutes in the second.
Kick into the middle of the ground, looking for Pitnet, who had to spoil it down and now lays the tackle on Windhager that was high. So a free kick going the way of the Saints in the middle of the ground. Windhager gets the hand pass to Brad Hill, who sends it out wide, looking for Marshall. He rises up against Dirksen, can't take the mark. Cowan comes charging in. Marshall lays the tackle on him. A ball up in the right forward pocket. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. The Blues by 25 points. They've put 4 goals to 2 so far in this second quarter. Marshall uncontested really in the ruck. He kicks towards the goal square. Dirksen's there. He gathers for the Blues. Hand pass back to Wilson, who chips it into the back pocket. Cooper Lord takes the mark for Carlton.
Lord moves it on to the run of Chera. Kicks infield. Finds Florin. And they might be out down the city wing. Pinpoint pass away to Byrne. He kicks infield, trying to get it to Cripps. Boxall comes to close him down. Cripps butted into his teammate there. Cooper Lord a little slow to get up, but okay in the end.
Harry Mackay was all inside the 50 all by himself. They hadn't been able to get a hammer release from that first mark. Cripps been open season.
Cripps was sore as well, so the Saints were able to flood back while Paddy Cripps got himself together. He kicks out wide to Chera. Just backward to the centre line. Kicks up for McGovern, who marks. No, drops it. Last minute, but good enough to recover. Gives it off to Byrne. Slalom run through them. Snaps from 45. Oh, across the face. Hayward just marks in the field of play, opposite pocket. 2 metres in the field of play. He'll run around, snap and goal. And the Blues are pouring them in. He's got a couple. Carlton lead by 31. 8-5-53, plays 3-4-22. A minute away from half-time. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
Geez, I've been impressed with Will Hayward. I mean, yes, he's kicked 2 goals and 9 touches now, but his aggression on the ball, he's had a couple big tackles, a couple big moments aerially as well. He's been one that obviously that just has been a massive focal point up in their forward line, and he's one of that kind of mid-tall, mid-small, one of those players that are really hard to match up on. I mean, he's been really important for them. Exit kicks as well as just a contest. He just read that ball. I mean, that was a centimetre from falling out, and he just marks it, keeps his eye on the ball. What a great finish again. Didn't allow for the St Kilda opposition to actually line up as well to give him that pressure from that snap from the boundary. So he quickly played on and just snapped it through.
GP spot on too. Cooper Potter did follow Henry Blake. My apologies, GP. How can I forget that?
Hayward joins Pitnet as a multiple goal scorer. Walsh gets a hand pass to the back of the stoppage. Hewitt's kick out to the wing. Tackled by Rowan Marshall. Lord loses the footy. Phillippo gets it forward to Darcy Wilson. Back to Phillippo. Couldn't take it. It ricochets out, though, to Windhager. Kicks to Hall. Is that 15? Umpire says it was. And Max Hall marks directly in front. He's 45 metres out from goal.
It's all chaos, though, for the Saints, isn't it, at the moment? There's no real system and structure to it. It's just, let's just see what we can do. And they put me in a situation where they're not running out of soldiers yet. Mason Wood's obviously the concern for the moment, the known variety. We know Naz is out for the game in a couple of weeks, clearly with that hamstring injury. But they look like they are just paddling a little bit, these Saints.
The Blues have kicked the last 4 goals of the match. Max Hall with an important shot on goal from just inside 50, and he steers it through. Mighty Max. With 5 clearances for the match, trying to lift St Kilda back into this contest. The margin is back to 25 points. The Blues with 5 goals to 3 in this second quarter. 8-5-53 to St Kilda 4-4-28. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport.
And talk about someone who's pretty special. I mean, you can't obviously fill in the shoes of Naz, but someone who's obviously been playing at that kind of level, not quite that level, but he's been super important for St Kilda. I mean, he had 3 goals last week. He is one of the players that is super dangerous front of centre, whether that's on ball, kicking inside forward 50, or finishing off himself. As we see there, that was a monster kick from 45 and cleared that line pretty comfortably. So expect him to be the focal point, especially in this centre. I mean, 5 clearances early on, so big game ahead for him.
One of 14 players in the comp averaging 20 disposals and a goal over the course of the season. Pitnet takes it out of the ruck. Siren beats the Blues as they go forward again. Half-time, Carlton leading by 25 points. The goal kickers, Hayward and Pitnet with a couple, then singles to Mackay, to Ainsworth, Walsh and Evans, while for St Kilda, 1 to Ryan, Hall and Owens, as well as Higgins. Only individual goal kickers to make up their 4 majors. 8-5-53 plays 4-4-28 at the main break.
So after it was a 13-point lead the way of the Blues at quarter time, it's a 25-point lead at half-time. Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera with a hamstring injury 8 minutes into the game. Unfortunately, ice on the back of that hamstring. His night is done. Most likely his home and away season is done. So his hopes will be that if St Kilda can finish in the top 10, and they might feature in that wildcard game, while Hayward and Pitnet have led the way. The Blues dominated the inside 50s in that second quarter. It was 33-14. So, 13-11. The inside 50s the way of the Blues. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with their thoughts to half-time.
Yeah, I think the Saints are just hanging on at the moment. So obviously they've had some challenges personnel-wise through that first half and trying to manage that on the bench. But it does look to me like they're just hanging on. The Blues have done an amazing job just to be able to divide and conquer their press, their defensive system, St Kilda's defensive system, and find a way through. Had they been a bit more efficient going forward, this could have been a healthy margin at half-time. Uncontested marks are fascinating, just the way that they're able to separate, pull them apart. Like you talk about, Chad, make them run and defend the whole ground now, because they are going to run out of legs at some stage. It was now minus 35 in the first quarter, now minus 19 in the second quarter. That's minus 54 uncontested marks for Carlton against St Kilda. It's so unlike a St Kilda team that they're just being pulled apart every time Carlton get possession, and that's the biggest issue. They've got to find a way to get the ball back from the Blues, who are owning it as much as they like.
Yeah, and Carlton have just got to stick to their game plan. I mean, they're working really hard on offence to create those opportunities, to get those uncontested marks. And that's when they are biting off sometimes a little bit more than they can chew through the corridor, when they've gone a bit more aggressive. I think they're just going to be a little bit more careful with those kicks, because the only way I can see them losing this game is remember those turnovers that they can kick through the corridor, and they just get covered out the back from St Kilda. Because St Kilda at the moment, they're not really generating any scores from their back half. They're not generating scores. They got one there from the centre bounce clearances, but the only way that I feel like St Kilda are going to be in this game is on the back of Carlton going a bit overzealous and going through the corridor through kicks. Like that was a 40-metre kick that paid off, but again, there was one for Cripps that put him in a hospital ball.
Yeah.
So for me, they've got to go to keep sticking to, I suppose, the game plan, which is pull them apart, hit the easy ones, and then play handball receive off that if you can. Because you can see the cascade. Once they get that handball chain, once they spread them, that cascade of that handball, then they get a really good look inside forward 50. For me, like I said, there's some marks inside forward 50 have been hot on. They're actually 8 for the game. So that's actually really good, that quarter. I mean, yes, some of them weren't the initial target, but they're getting the marks. And if you're getting 16, so when we're at Hawks, the mark was about 12 inside 50 marks per game. So that was a tick off. So they're going at a rate of 16 at the moment. So they want to make sure that quarter doesn't emulate the first one, because the first one they only had 1.
Yeah, so some worrying signs, I think, for the Saints. But the Blues, if they can just maintain, as Chad said, the system they've got going at the moment, they should walk away victors here.
Half-time here at Docklands as the Blues lead by 25 points, 8-5-53 to St Kilda 4-4-28. Your thoughts on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Entertaining as always, just wondering as to who the coach of the year would be, Longmuir, King or Fraser. Stoked with the contest and your description so far. Thanks from Ensley and Margaret River.
Oh, a nice part of the world, Margaret River.
Coach of the year for you?
I'm still with Justin Longmuir. I think what he's done with Fremantle has been phenomenal. Now, loving Stephen King. We've talked about him a lot on Sunday here on ABC. And Josh Fraser, I don't know how you... Like, are you in calculation if you only coach 13 games?
Well,
I'll tell you what.
You only lose 2 games.
I think it's an easy decision. I think Fraser should get it.
Coach of the year.
100%.
Really?
Longmire has got an unbelievable team. Like, the expectation is for them to be the top.
Yeah.
The expectation when he took over Carlton was that just to get to the end of the season. Yeah. They were not in the picture.
I see it differently, I must admit.
I just feel like he can't. And he also didn't have a pre-season. He hasn't got the season or even a half. He's had 1 week to prepare the team. Yes, he's got this handball, this grenade, and he's taken the grenade, jumped on it, and created miracles out of it. Like, I just don't think you can compare aces to spades. Like, Longmire's had 3 years to develop this team. Gone to the draft, got the players he wants, got the system.
They're dominating
they've been proven,
competition.
and they're dominating competition. But they've got the players, and they've also had 3 or 4 seasons that they've had underneath him. He's got a handle, the worst grenade you could possibly get. The worst grenade.
I understand.
And he's turned it.
It'd be some storyline, wouldn't it? If he got Coach of the Year, got the Blues to finals, and then said, you know what, I'm not going to take the job.
I don't want it. Or the Carlton come and say, we're going to give it to somebody else.
We're going to give it to someone else.
It happened in the NBA with Toronto Raptors. He won Coach of the Year. I forgot who it was. And then he got sacked at the end of the year. Imagine that, Coach of the Year then getting sacked.
And a cheerio to Ralph, who is listening to you, Half and Chad, from the balcony of our house in a mountainside village in West Serbia. Hearing you guys loud and clear on the call. Thanks for your company, Ralph. On ABC, listen around the world. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Halftime here at Docklands. It's the Blues by 25 points. We'll bring you the latest from the other results earlier today. But for the moment, let's bring you the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News, I'm Eliza Getzi. Police say they found a body believed to be that of a female in a suitcase in the New South Wales southern tablelands. Officers were called to Wolgan Road at O'Allen, about 60 kilometres southeast of Goulburn, just before 1 o'clock this afternoon, where they say they made the discovery. A crime scene has been established and the suitcase has been seized to undergo forensic examination as detectives start their investigation. The body is yet to be formally identified. 000 calls have been disrupted amid a major telecommunications outage in remote far north Queensland. Here's Francis Dew.
Parts of Cape York have been without phone and internet services since last night. Telstra says a bushfire damaged one of its cables near Weipa, cutting services to several communities. Marpurn, Weipa, Napranum and Arakoon are among towns affected. The outage has hit mobile, fixed line and ADSL services. Telstra says technicians are travelling from Cairns to Weipa and are working to restore services tonight. The federal government says the 000 custodian has been briefed and is monitoring the situation. Optus says some of its customers in the area have also been affected.
An air traffic ground controller and a tug operator have been stood down after a Jetstar and a Qatar Airways plane were involved in a near-miss incident on the tarmac at Sydney Airport this morning. Victoria Pengilly has the details.
Transport investigators say Jetstar A320 en route to the Gold Coast was taxiing around 7 a.m. this morning when its flight crew observed a Qatar Airways Boeing under tow from an aircraft tug. Jetstar says its pilots were under instruction from air traffic control and were forced to brake quickly to avoid colliding. A crew member was injured and treated for a wrist injury. There was also damage to a connection between the Qatar plane nose gear and aircraft tug. It's bad timing for Air Services Australia, which says it's now reviewing the incident. On Saturday, 150 flights were delayed as a result of rostering issues. The Transport Safety Bureau is calling for any CCTV to be handed in to help with their investigation.
Thai police say the teenager behind a deadly school shooting outside Bangkok on Friday had an air gun confiscated by a teacher last year and had watched violent content online. The 14-year-old allegedly shot dead his grandparents at home before killing another 6 people at his school and turning his gun on himself. The Thai government is moving to tighten gun laws and is promising new safety protocols for schools as investigations continue into the mass shooting. Authorities in China are warning of potential floods and landslides with Typhoon Dolphin set to make landfall in the country. Larry Buttrose has more.
The storm is predicted to cross the coast later tonight or early tomorrow, bringing high winds and torrential rain across a swathe of eastern China. Shanghai's 2 airports have cancelled more than 1,300 flights. Ships have been ordered back to port and authorities have relocated around 300,000 people as China prepares for Typhoon Dolphin. Earlier, it brought heavy rain to northern Taiwan after sweeping through Japan's southern Okinawa prefecture, where it injured 6 people and cut power to more than 50,000 buildings.
A rare turtle washed up on a British beach is about to start its 8,000-kilometre journey home to the Gulf of Mexico. Here's the BBC's Dan Moffat.
Rossi has been on a journey that not many other sea turtles of his kind make. After being found close to death 3 years ago, he was nursed back to health by the team at the Anglesey Sea Zoo. The journey back to his native home in the Gulf of Mexico has been carefully planned, including the construction of a special temperature-controlled crate for him and the completion of complex international paperwork to allow him to travel. Rossi will begin the long journey in style, in a helicopter from Anglesey to Heathrow Airport before he boards a flight to Houston in Texas.
And in the NRL, St George Illawarra has scored just its 3rd win of the season with a stunning upset over Cronulla Sutherland. Here's ABC Sports' Andrew Moore.
The Sharks had won 9 of their last 10 games and being in the top 4, a hot favourite, but it was St George Illawarra who put together an 80-minute effort of great enthusiasm, but the game wasn't sealed until a brilliant try finished off by Setu Tu, the Dragons winger, in the 77th minute. Dragons 24 over Cronulla Sutherland 16. Meanwhile, earlier at Canberra Stadium, a high-scoring affair saw the Newcastle Knights defeat the Raiders and really put an exclamation point on Canberra's hopes of reaching the finals. Knights 30 beat the Raiders 24. Andrew Moore, ABC Sport, Sydney.
And you're up to date with the latest from ABC News.
Every community has stories worth sharing. ABC Your Say is your chance to join the conversation. Tell us what's on your mind. Visit abc.net.au/yoursay.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
DeConing wins down the tap to Hall. Got it away to win Hager. Gets the first clearance of the Saints up towards the attacking 50. And Wood was worked underneath it. It spills to the back. Higgins is onto it. Fires towards goal. That's a great start. Inside 15 seconds. Jack Higgins snaps truly. And the Saints have fired out of a rocket. How past to Hewitt. He drives a kick inside 50 for the Blues. Towards the goal square. Pitterman just got rid of Tom DeConing and takes the mark slightly left of centre, 30 metres out from goal. Mark Pitnet, a chance at a second goal. Out to the left, drives it through. The Blues answer. Marshall and DeConing are both down there. It clears DeConing's fingertips right into the open goal. Liam Ryan perfectly crumbing it there. And puts through his first goal of the night with a clipped shoulder.
He'll chisel it inside 50 and finds Ainsworth on a lateral lead. It looked like the kick went over the head of Harry. Ainsworth wants to move it on quickly. The snap from 40. He goes bang.
Harry Dean pulls his kick. What a pass. And finds Hayward out wide in the right forward pocket. He's 45 metres out from goal as Hayward is looking to finish here. Out to the right. It's a good looking kick off the boot. And Will Hayward pumps his chest. Carlton finally gets a reward for their inside 50s dominance.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half-time at Docklands, the final game of round 22. The Blues leading the Saints by 25 points. 8-5-53 to St Kilda 4-4-28. Unfortunately for Saints fans and footy fans, Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera out with a hamstring injury just 8 minutes into the game. The Saints have had plenty of other players going through the bench as well. Liam Ryan had a shoulder injury. Mason Wood came from the field as well. And Tom DeConing. But thankfully, for the moment, just Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera is the only player ruled out of the match at the moment. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport. The other results today, the Gold Coast Suns snapped a 10-game losing streak with a 2-point victory over the Giants. 11-13-79 to the Giants, 11-11-77. Matt Rowell had 40 disposals, 17 clearances and 16 tackles from the Brownlow medalist, while Toot Miller booted 3 goals. Well, before us, the start of the AFLW season, It was the Blues who recorded a 26-point victory over St Kilda, 9-12-66 to the Saints 6-4-40. Abby McKay with 32 disposals and 9 clearances, while Mimi Hill had 28 disposals and 5 clearances alongside 8 score involvements. While over in the West, it was the Magpies who recorded a victory to lock in their place in the top 10 by 19 points over the Eagles, 17-15, 117 to the Eagles, 15-9, 98. And after the game, Bridget Lacey from the ABC Sport team caught up with Collingwood ruckman Darcy Cameron.
Lucky enough to have Darcy Cameron after that 19-point win over West Coast. Just a lazy 24 disposals and 30 hit-outs for you as well today, Darcy, but that was a really important win.
Yeah, it was massive. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that secures a spot in the wild card round. So that's what we got a solid 2 games coming up, and it was really important to come here and get the win. But to do that with such a young team and so many outs throughout the week. But just have that next man up mentality. I'm so proud of the boys today and our group, the way we just keep showing up each week. It's such an awesome effort.
How confident were you given the outs that you did have today?
Really confident. I know there was so much belief throughout the group all week, and the opportunity was just it was just had to happen for a lot of those boys that we've been playing in the VFL for a number of weeks. Roan, Swadling, Sullivan, they've just been AFL players all year, even though they're not getting the games rewarded with the games, but you're so confident for them to come in and play their role, which they did today.
And as a WA boy, always nice to come home and play in front of friends and family, and you had Bub in the song there. I'm not sure Bub was loving it, but must have been a nice feeling.
Yeah, I know, that's definitely not Bruna. That was my brother's daughter, my niece, Minnie, and it was really special to have those moments with us. You're never sure how many more games you got left at home, and be able to create those memories is really important. But I love coming back here and playing in front of family and friends, catching up with people before the game, and at the stadium, such a great crowd, and our fans always turn up here. So, it was a special win.
Send you upstairs for some more questions. We've got Sharad Wellingham, Mitch Turner, Clint Wheeldon and Jared Schofield.
Darcy, Chaz here, mate. Congratulations on the win and securing that wildcard spot, mate. It's going to be good to see the finals come around. But it took a little bit for you guys to really control the game. Probably after half-time was where you really started control. What did you get from the coach's box upstairs that you needed to change after the main break?
I think the biggest thing was being brave and fighting forward and gaining territory. I think you saw in that first half we fed back a lot and put ourselves under a lot of pressure. As soon as we took the game on, got that ball going forward, we gave our forwards really good chances. But they're a quality side. They might not have the wins to show for it, but they put it up against Brisbane a few weeks ago. And they showed it to us over at the MCG early in the year and gave us a quite old fright. But we came in here with a lot of respect for them, and I'm really glad to come out that winners.
Darcy, well done on the win. Jared Schofield here. Yeah, just on the back of your comments there around West Coast, having been there previously, what have you seen as their growth? You've had 2 close games with them in terms of their performance. What have you seen in their growth in their game that has enabled them to challenge a team like yourself?
I think their contest is really good. They got absolute weapons in there, and they all turn up to contest really well. We scouted that throughout the week. Harley Reid's really damaging around there, obviously. But yeah, they've been playing really well, and like I said, they've been really competitive.
Quickly one from me, Darcy. The wildcard spot was debated earlier in the year, but now you're one of the teams that's been fighting for that. How do you feel about the wildcard now that you're going to lock one spot away?
I love it. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it earlier in the year, but I think it's really good. That team's, that are on the cusp at the moment, have something to fight for, and thank God it's here this year.
Fair enough. Darcy Cameron, thanks for talking to us. Best of luck for the rest of the season. We will see you in the finals.
Thank you. Cheers.
Darcy Cameron from the Magpies following their 19-point win over the West Coast Eagles. Dan McStay, Lockie Schultz and Tim Membry all booted 3 goals, while Waterman booted 3 goals for the Eagles. As the Blues and the Saints make their way back out onto Docklands, Carlton leading by 25 points. Don't forget, of course, ABC AFL Daily with Ben Cameron and Daniel Harford available on your way to work tomorrow. Cameron Ling was with me for AFL Sunday on ABC Sport. That's under the best of ABC Sport, in which Lingy spoke about the investigation which he believes needs to take place in terms of what has happened with the concussion waiver. The conversation around the fact that the AFL chair was the Geelong president, Craig Drummond, Steve Hocking has come out and admitted fault. So the question coming through is if this investigation does take place, half as to who would run the investigation and what would it look like, given now everyone is on notice that these waivers won't be acceptable and they're not legally viable.
I don't know who runs the investigation. That's a good question. Everyone's complicit in it to some degree. And the fact that there was, reading with interest this morning, the fact that there was a flat-out denial of the story from Steve Hocking when first pressed with it on Wednesday.
Yep.
Flat-out denial. It makes it even worse as far as I'm concerned with the whole thing. It's got a massive sting to it, this. And I can't wait to find out what they get to the bottom of, whoever starts it or runs the investigation. And there's a bit to play out here, I reckon.
It's going to be an interesting next couple of days as to how it is handled. Is Poppy back down on the boundary? Because I think the Saints might have lost another one in the process. We're getting reports that Mason Wood,
his
night is done, unfortunately. So a calf injury for him. So the Saints down with Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller and now Mason Wood as well. So 3 fit players on the bench. Tom de Konings, it's a sore shoulder. Liam Ryan's had a sore shoulder as well. So they are going to have to do it with a couple of their troops down. Carlton leading by 25 points at half-time. If you want to join us on the SMS, 0437 774 774. The Blues by 25 points as we get the second half underway with Ben Cameron.
Pettinet hooks it down beautifully for Hewitt, but he can't trap it. Hall can, hurries a dribble kick up the half forward for St Kilda. Bouncing ball for Lake, taps it onto Hill, sells a couple of bits of candy, now chips it inside 50, and the mark's taken by Wilson. The bare 15 if it did half.
There's no way it did. But if you kick it high enough, they think it does these days. It's all a bit bizarre, but they've got a knack about this, getting off to a hot start in a quarter. Chad, they've done it a couple of times already this game. Get to go inside this first minute of the second quarter. Had some really good looks in the first quarter early. Weren't able to get it done.
One of their young stars they're hoping continues to rise at St Kilda. A 2-year contract extension from right on 50. He's hooked it left. Just misses. Carlton lead by 4 goals neat. We've played a minute in the third term.
They're brought back into play as Florent sends it into the pocket for Carlton. Nick Haynes takes the mark. Out of contract at season's end. They've got a couple of interesting list decisions they'll have to make. Haywood takes the mark at left half back.
I reckon there's a renewed urgency to take out the uncontested marks here from the Saints. Just watching the first couple of minutes.
Haywood sends it long up the wing. Kemp's the target, brought it down to the front. Numbers the way of the Saints. Silvani gets the hand pass to Hill, dodging and weaving. Dinks a kick backwards to Winhager. He marks on the edge of the centre square, switches it into the middle of the ground. That's where Stocker takes it. He looks out laterally. Mitch Owens is on a long lead and he takes the mark. Rising up in front of his opponent, Ollie Florent. Still 2 kicks out from goal. While Marshall's in the goal square, he's pointing to the pocket. Owens just chips it over the top and finds Darcy Wilson. Hugh Boxall, I should say. Boxall has it at left half forward. He veers out to the right. Sends in the direction of Liam Ryan, who's ready to fly. He goes up with one arm, can't take the mark. Spills to the front. Cooper Sharman gets a half pass. O'Connell, the defender, kicks across his body. This is to the left-hand side. Carlton by 23 points. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
The Blues are down one on the bench, and I'm pretty sure it's Harry Dean. He hasn't emerged after half-time, which isn't great news for them. We're just chasing it with the club, but I can't see him out there, and he's not on the bench. So that's a worry for Carlton.
You're right, Poppy. So that is a concern. Akers kicking from half-back to the wing, and Stocker, the former Blue, takes the mark.
It's a definite shift in St Kilda's defensive intent.
Daniel Harford all over it here on the coverage. Stocker comes infield to Hill, to Wilson. Just flights it beautifully inside 50. Right onto the chest of Sharman, 47 metres out. Just ever so slightly right of centre.
Well, it just didn't make any sense the way they were playing. When Carlton had the ball, they just allowed them to open the game up, open the ground up and allow the uncontested mark. 54 they were down at half-time. Ross would have been fuming with that. Didn't make any sense. And all of a sudden, when you take it away, you force Carlton to kick long. You can compete at the air, you can get your ground level boys in action, and all of a sudden you get good looks at goal like this.
Sharman boot to ball from just inside the centre square and into the woodwork. He's going the journey easily. He can jump high, he can kick it from range.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nearly for Cooper Sharman. Carlton by 22 points, 3.5 minutes into the third.
Quickly into Florent, and they're outside the defensive 50, up to the wing where Hayward takes the mark. Carlton by 22 points. So Hayward looks inboard, and Haynes and Florent both there. Haynes takes the mark. Looks back out to the wing on the far side. Hayward back with a flight, crashed into by Cal Wilkie. Is that a Carlton free kick? It is for late contact. Mark posing the question on the SMS, what game number is this for Cal Wilkie? It's game 176 consecutively. So chasing Jack Crisp with 283.
He's still got a chase, isn't he?
It's a fair way back, isn't it? So Hayward does get the free kick, drives it inside 50. Taylor Byrne went for a fly, can't come down with the footy. Spills in, so still a dangerous position. Hewitt tries to knock it away from Boxall, but it's taken by Brad Hill. Hand pass to Winhager into the middle of the ground. Full vertical leap in the air for Jack Higgins, and he takes the mark. Hand pass back to Brad Hill. Looks for Wilson and gathers it on the bounce. He's tackled by Cottrell. Ball spills out. Cowan takes it to the Blues. Hand pass to Evans. Hand pass to Ainsworth. Back to Frankie Evans. Drives it inside 50. McKay against the boundary line. And Harry Mackay had a couple of metres on this occasion against Caminiti.
Would have loved Harry to get back to more goal square for that lead. Double back against his opponent. Then just found himself in a borderline impossible situation. Left foot, wrong side, check side coming up. Be easy for you, Chad, but Harry's a bit different to you. Don't look at it like that.
What does he do here, Chad? What's his best chance?
You've got to go the banana. You're not comfortable on your right foot. He's probably not that comfortable on his left foot. So, got to go the banana.
He's going to go the drop punt against Chad's better knowledge, and he fires towards goal. And how do you like those apples? Harry Mackay from deep in the boundary up against the signage finishes with a special goal. His second of the night. And if Carlton are kicking them, you know you're in trouble. Harry Mackay celebrates with his teammates inside the forward 50. The Blues with the first goal of the third quarter. It comes 5.5 minutes in. 9-5-59 to St Kilda, 4-7-31.
Wow. Let me get this straight. The guy who kicks the snaps from directly in front just kicked a drop punt from an incredibly tight angle.
No, an impossible angle. Wrong side left footer. Over the boundary line, basically in row 2. And he kicks a laser through the needle.
I set you up for that, Chad. For some players,
I'll
the
eat my
tougher,
sock.
the better.
Insane.
And for Harry Mackay, it's almost like there was no pressure on that shot, so he nailed it.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
He has gone past 300 goals at AFL level here tonight, up to 301 now. Back in the middle. And fighting over it. Jagger Smith wins it initially, but turns it over. Burns of St Kilda gives it off to Boxall. And he sends the Saints inside 50. Ryan out the back, nearly takes the mark. Wilson's there to grab it for the Blues, gives it to Haynes, who's under pressure, gets a handball out, follows up, carries it out. And a boundary throw in, right forward pocket for St Kilda. Carlton lead by 28, 6.5 minutes into this third term. 9-5-59 plays 4-7-31. The Blues with the first of the second half.
Kai, Pitnet and Hayward, the multiple goal kickers for the Blues. Challenge for St Kilda to try and respond. Two personnel down on the bench. Marshall worked underneath it by Pitnet. Just hets it out towards the boundary line. It'll be a Lasso free kick, and it'll go the way of the Saints at right half forward. Wasting no time. O'Connell takes it. Comes inboard to Darcy Wilson, who cuts back on his right. High kick inside 50. Pitnet juggles the mark.
Push.
There's a push.
Yeah, he pushed. Was it Coney? He pushed out of the way. No, Marshall, he pushed out of the way.
Rowan Marshall, and that was a push right into the middle of the back. Hard for the umpire to miss that one.
Yeah, it was unnecessary is what it was. He had a good launch at the ball if he wanted it, but chose to just shove him out of the way.
I do like the visual image of him saying to the umpire, but I took the mark, as he gestures to him. I had the mark. And Rowan Marshall is going with the high knee lifts to try and get his shot online. He's only about 20 metres out, just slightly right of centre. Now the Saints need this from big Rowan Marshall. He trots in and sends it through. St Kilda answer back after the Mackay goal at the other end. And the margin returns to 22 points the Blues way. 9-5-59 to St Kilda 5-7-37. Rowan Marshall with his first goal of the night. 8 minutes gone in the third term. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford with you for Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Well, St Kilda, they're not going away. I mean, Max Hall, Bradley Hill have had a really good start to this quarter, and yes, they've given away that goal there from a turnover, but they've had 3 shots on goal here. 2 of them, or maybe even 3 of them, they're all kickable.
Yep.
So they really started this quarter. Yes, they're obviously 2 goals to 1 in this quarter, but they've started really well. They're, like you've just mentioned, half. Their defence is lifted. They're going through the corridor. They're winning the clearances. They're getting in front of centre. So, yes, they've given up 1, but, geez, they started well this quarter.
Got around him too, Rowan Marshall. They came from everywhere.
He's a culture carrier at St Kilda. They tell us incredibly popular in the locker room. Pitnet slaps it down, goes again at ground level to slap it on. Hugo Garcia picks it up for the Saints though. His handball for Wilson. The youngsters combining. Nowhere really to go. Somehow gets a kick out. Favours Hayward of the Blues, who taps it to his own advantage. Then fumbles it. Allows in St Kilda. Sharman tries to soccer it on, fluffs his lines. Hayward goes back and wins it. Centre half back for the Blues.
Pressure's up from the Saints.
Still scrapping after it. Daniel Harford telling us how hot the game is. Sharman quickly kicks inside 50 after gathering. But Florence there, back defensively. Carlton by 22, 9 minutes into the third.
Well, whatever happens, this is more palatable for Saints fans here watching at home and listening to us in the ABC. This is more palatable because it's the way that they normally play. Real heat on the opponents. The first half was very unusual.
Florent out to Jagger Smith, position number 12 for him. A little quiet in that first half to kick up the wing. McGovern unable to take the markers. Off hands, it goes out of play. George Hewitt leads the way with 20 disposals. Florent and Chera with 17 for the Blues, while 19 for Brad Hill. Hall with 16 and 5 clearances. Darcy Wilson with 15 as well. Thrown back in. Marshall and Pitnet resume their battle. Pitnet with a couple of goals. Marshall with the last. Florent feeds it back to Chera. Back edge of the stoppage. Drives it up towards half forward. Frankie Evans juggles the mark. Leaning over the top of Hunter Clark. He looks out. Mackay's on the lead. What a pass. Didn't have to break stride as he led into the left pocket and marks on his chest.
That's what they weren't able to do in the first half, the Blues, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, that was a penetrating kick. I mean, Mackay had the whole 50 to work in, and he actually changed his angle because he saw the St Kilda player dropping back in the hole, so that was a great lead from O'Connor. And should I doubt him again? Because the last time I doubted him, he hit straight through the guts.
Blues fans are keen for you to doubt him.
Having nailed an absolute ripper from the left forward pocket, this is more conventional from the right forward pocket. On a 45-degree angle, just inside 50. He hits it flush. And there's something to like about Harry tonight as he puts through his third. Had that knee knock in the game against Collingwood and was out of the game in the opening quarter. But he is responding here. 3 goals tonight, as Ben said, over 300 goals for his career. And trying to lead the Blues back into September. 10-5-65 to St Kilda 5-7-31. That's with Mitch McGovern and Brodie Kemp having both kicked over 30 goals for the season. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport. But firstly, Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, the good news is that Harry Dean is back up and on the ground. He had a couple of painkillers, so there obviously was an issue. And the other one is Campbell Lake for St Kilda was having quite a lot of work done on his right quad. So he is back out there, but one to watch as well.
And that goal came from a stoppage at half-back. Left half-back ends up in a right forward pocket shot. It's the way that the Blues are able to move really well through the corridor from that stoppage.
I'll go down to Poppy in a moment. Just any sign of Naz down there, Poppy?
Yeah, he's sitting at the front of the bench. So he's got the big puffer jacket on. He's sitting at the front. He's quite engaged with the players as they're coming off.
Yeah, he's sitting, is it next to Jack Sinclair down there?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So the walking wounded down there sort of doing a bit of coaching from the front bench.
St Kilda win it from the secondary ball up. Filippo kicks out wide for a leading Owens. Owens will lift the kick into the pocket for Ryan. One-on-one. Haynes gets a fist in late. Sees it out of play. Throw in right forward pocket. Here for St Kilda. Carlton lead by 28. Saints trying to stay in the game. 12 played, third term.
And more of the inside 50s in this third quarter, 7-3. Blues have put it 2-1. Thrown in. Clears the 2 rucks. Racing onto it, Hall, but Walsh gets a hand pass to Hewitt. Strong in the tackle, breaks away, hand pass to Hayward. Sends a pull it up to McGovern, who marks it left half back in front of Hunter Clark. Into the middle of the ground, a kick is a turnover. Windhager takes the mark.
They're sharp. It's good. This is much better.
He looks up. Rowan Marshall is about 30 metres out from goal. Sends it in that direction. 3 Blues to compete against. He brings it to ground. Tackled by Harry Dean. Ball spills clear. Hand pass comes out to Liam Ryan. Kicks around his body. It was touched off the boot. In the end, Lake comes charging in and lays the tackle as well. Lockie Cowan's the last to rise, with Boxall involved in that tackle as well. Carlton by 28.
So I'll get a stat from you in a second, Matty, if you can.
Tap down by Pitnet. Haynes gets it away towards Ainsworth to Evans, kicking off the back flank and finding Kemp. Blues do well to get it out of their D50.
I can test the marks this quarter.
Kemp moves it on to Cripps.
13-12, Carlton's way.
13-12, right? That's much better. 76-67 in the first two quarters. Sorry, 27-33 first two quarters.
Cripps just shorts it on and forces Hewitt to do some work, so we end up with the ball up after he's tackled quickly by Boxall. Umpire puts it aloft. Young slaps it on for the Blues, bouncing towards the boundary line and tumbling out. Another throw-in on the wing. Carlton by 28. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Are we a fan of the true Sunday night game?
Clitch and I were having a chat about this at half-time. I am. I quite like Sunday night footy.
Same.
Don't know if I want to work it every day.
So yeses. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think I'm a yes. Yep.
We convinced you were.
Probably more a no than a yes. But I don't mind it as an idea. What do you reckon, Poppy?
Having already done a game today, I wouldn't have minded this game to be a little bit earlier, but I do like the Sunday night.
I like the double headers. I think that's a win. Ainsworth kicks up towards Frankie Evans. He marks it right half forward.
They're fighting the fight for us, Poppy.
Over 20,400 in for the AFLW earlier. The kick towards full forward. Up went Hayward. Can't take the mark. Caminiti in defence. Gathers for the Saints. Hand pass away to Cooper Sharman. Kicks out towards half back. Haynes is there for the Blues. He gathers. Hand pass around Lake. Got it to Cowan. One way then the other. Trying to get around Filippo. Into the pocket. Cottrell goes up but can't take the mark as O'Connell got back and he spoils out of play. Left forward pocket for the Blues. It's Carlton who lead by 28 points.
So who would it work for? Father Mulcahy from MASH. Because you'd get through the services on Sunday and be able to watch the footy Sunday night. Or Padre, as Hawkeye called him.
Carlton by 28. Cripps taking it out of the ruck. Gets a handball moving forward away towards Hewitt. Well, one memory of MASH was Michael Klinger, the former Australian cricketer, domestic cricketer. His nickname was Max because of Max Klinger in the show.
That's right.
So that was just about all I know about it as Sharman gets the clearing kick beyond defensive 50. Bouncing ball and wrapped up quickly. The Blues through Chera. Ball up between wing and half forward here for Carlton. They lead by 28, quarter hour mark of the third.
He's trying everything to get out of service, he was, Klinger.
If you're wondering about the MASH references, there was that many injuries in the first quarter. Poppy was almost going to put in 2 invoices as Clark takes it for the Saints at half back. Hand pass to Winhager to Hill. They work it forward to Garcia. Back to Winhager. It works. Yeah. Sends it up inside 50. Hill's out the back. And Higgins dropped the mark. He gathers now. Cuts towards goal and bounces through it behind. Jack Higgins did so much there to try and take the mark and keep it alive. He had Liam Ryan racing towards goal. The moment's lost. Carlton by 27.
Dirksen, a dangerous kick in, but Cottrell juggles it. Almost Jonty Road style. Parries it up in the air, turns around and marks it. Moves it short to Lord. Right on the arc of defensive 50. Carlton by 27. The Saints have improved after half-time. Lord's kick to the wing. Wilkie juggling it, not marking. Filippo gathers the ball. Handball away to Owens. Owens gets a handball moving backwards, but it's taken by McGovern. The Blues attack. Off to Evans. Kicks inside 50. They're queuing up, and Hayward marks. 35 out, virtually directly in front. And he will go back and try and make it a game-high lead for Carlton.
St Kilda aren't doing themselves any favours. I mean, they've 1 goal for this quarter to 2 goals to Carlton. And if this is the third one, this is 2 on the back of turnovers.
Yep.
So they're really doing all the hard work. They've got the defence sorted. They're not kicking straight, and they're doing turnovers in the wrong. He actually handballed that the wrong direction, and it's gone straight into the Carlton players' hands. And now it's a set shot from 30 out.
It's in the coaches' votes last week. Will Hayward, more like the Spoonerism, Hill Wayward on that occasion, missing out to the right. Carlton by 28, 10-6, 66, plays 5-8, 38, and played 17 and a half in the third term.
Stocker plays on into the back pocket for St Kilda. Kicks a high, long ball, hugging the boundary line, looking for Mitch Owens. Might have given away a shove. Kept alive by Filippo. Got it back to Owens. He's tackled by Billy Wilson. And the umpire will ball it up. 0437 774 774. Let us know if you're a fan of Sunday night footy.
Or MASH.
or mash for half. The one person in the box who watched enough of it to know the characters.
When was it? It was like a 4 o'clock on free-to-air TV.
No, it was a 6 o'clock, 6:30 type after the news situation. You go and watch the news. Back in the old days, people listening will know this. You watch the news and you watch MASH.
Cripps was doing the ruck work against DeConing, got it down to Walsh. He kicks off the outside of the boot. It goes out of bounds on the full.
You sure that's what happened?
Carlton by 28 points.
Windhager to take the kick. No, it'll come further up the field and be taken by Wilson. 80 out from his defensive goal. No, he feeds it on to Garcia. Third time lucky. We find the right recipient. Garcia chips it short to Wilson. Just backward of the wing. He dinks it around the boundary line and finds Boxall. His kick infield, not his best. Filippo tries to pick it up around the bootlaces. Goes again. The Blues are everywhere. They swarm on him and tackle him to ground for a ball up. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Pretty sure MASH was before the news. My dad's a big fan.
Was it before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I've had a lot of concussions, Poppy. I miss a bit of stuff. I forget something.
We'll let you off.
From the stoppage, the way of Hugo Garcia drives it inside 50. Liam Ryan worked underneath it, and Dean at the back gathers for the Blues. Hand pass away to Wilson. Gave a hand pass away to Cooper Lord. Sends it up the wing. Cripps and DeConing. It clears those two. Gathered by Hunter Clark. Shovels a hand pass forward to Brad Hill. He pierces a kick looking for Higgins, who takes the mark pretty much directly in front, 45 metres out from goal.
So much better from secure to this quarter. So much better. If Chad's point before, if they're a bit more efficient in front of goal, it could be a very different game at the moment.
Well, look at Bradley Hill. I think that's his 9th or 10th disposal. He's had 4 score involvements, so he's had a massive quarter.
Well, he's the architect now, isn't he?
He is.
With Naz out, he's the one.
Outside run, Max Hall, they're the two that are really got going in this quarter.
Up to 23 disposals for the game, Brad Hill, Chad. 21 of them uncontested. And footy in the hands of Jack Higgins from just inside 50. His kick is offline to the left, looking for the extra distance. Through for a minor score. Yep. So 7 disposals, 1-3 for him. Carlton's lead is 27 points. 20 minutes gone, third quarter.
Wilson, short kick to the pocket where he finds Cowan, gets it back and then kicks long up to the wing. Looking for McGovern, unable to take the mark. He goes again at ground level. Gathered by Lord for the Blues. He'll kick around the wing and spots up Evans. Evans can look deep inside 50. Young's out and he marks. 35 out directly in front of goal, and they all point at the sticks like Babe Ruth.
Can't kick it, yep.
And he'll go back and a shot on goal, Louis Young, who's playing his 3rd consecutive game.
So there's the ability to adapt in game from the Blues. That's what I love, that passage of play. So they held up, it was Haynes in the back pocket, and the Saints have shut off all the uncontested opportunities, so they've made it more a kick at the contest game. Handballs past to Billy Wilson and breaks the line. And then you draw a defender, and I know it was a long kick to the McGovern contest on the wing, but it just changed the way Security had to defend if the Blues got through and they couldn't manage it.
Louis Young, his drop punt is wide left. Groan from the crowd. Carlton by 28, 10-7-67, plays 5-9-39. Time on third term.
Saints bring the ball back into play. Stocker drives it up towards half-back. Ryan Burns takes the mark in front of Cottrell. As at left half-back, Wilkie running past, ignores that hand pass, cuts back on his right. Rowan Marshall the target against Pitnet. DeConing got there late, clears to the back. Dirksen, clever, just chipped it back to Chera, not 15. Great kick into the middle of the ground though, under the pressure of Brad Hill. Found Taylor Byrne, hand pass to Wilson, hand pass to the runner Cripps. He gives it to Walsh, edge of the centre square, just got tackled as he hurried his kick inside 50. Kemp's been quiet, beaten by Silvani this time. Got it back to Caminiti, hang on, a throw. It's going to be a Carlton shot on goal.
Yeah, it was. Silvani was a good tackle by Kemp on Silvani, and it was a left arm scoop.
The Carlton fans in the crowd are loving the fact that was called against the former Blue.
Yes. All part of the pantomime. It's all good theatre.
And the free kick is going to go the way of Brodie Kemp, who is normally a snapper across his body. What will he do here from the left forward pocket? It's only slightly left of centre.
He's snapping.
But he is looking for his first of the night. And for 3 of the last 4 for the Blues. Kemp, 2 steps out, across his body, celebrating before it goes through the major opening. Carlton with 3 goals to 1 goal for so far in this third quarter. Stretch it out as wide as it's been. A 34-point lead. 11-7-73. to St Kilda 5-9-39. 23 minutes gone, third quarter, Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Did have a question coming through earlier on the SMS chat about what it's like to play against your former side, something in which you experienced. So for Tom De Koning and Jack Silvani, what's the emotion like leading up to a game like tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first time, you kind of move on after the first time. I think it's like you see your ex-girlfriend for the first time. It's pretty awkward. But for me, you just got to make sure you get the win. Like, that's the thing. You want to, your first contest, you're a bit nervous, or it's kind of weird. It feels like a training session, because that's the pre-season you used to have with those ex-teammates of yours. But you just want to get the win. That's the point. Because once you get the chocolates over them, then you feel good.
Koning slaps it down and nowhere to go for Wilson, so we'll do it again. In the middle, up it goes.
Would she be ruining a lost opportunity, that first girlfriend of yours?
Koning taps it down to Hall, snaps up to half forward, bouncing ball. Marshall's out after it and piles on top of it. The Blues player underneath him, and we'll get another ball up. 60 out from the attacking goal for the Saints. 34 points, a game-high lead the way of the Blues.
Hitnet and Marshall. It comes down the way of Darcy Wilson. Kicks inside 50. It's over the head of Mitch Owens. Running onto it, Ryan. Hand pass back to Owens. Against the boundary line to Koning. Hand pass a little loose, looking for Lake. Billy Wilson gets back for the Blues. Hand pass to Smith. Hand pass to Dirksen. Back to the defensive goal square. Blake Acres just off a step. High, long kick to half back, and Cripps wrestles his way to the front against Hall and takes the mark. He's always done that well, Patrick Cripps. Sends it up the wing to Taylor Byrne, who gives the hand pass away to Lord. Looks up. The lead comes from McGovern. He marks between wing and half forward.
Around the back again.
They've got a player out the back. It's Louis Young. Can they get it to him? They do. It clears Caminiti and Silvani. Brody Kent was there as well, and Louis Young, having pushed forward, takes the mark deep in the left forward pocket.
Just advancing the game so well, the Blues, when they get possession, particularly from half-back. Cripps kicked it forward to a runner who was going back towards goal into space. They create a good little lane for him to get into. And a bit like the Kangaroos did a couple of weeks ago, they've got out the back a couple of times with speed. That's how you break the Saints down.
Young looks to open up the angle, and he hits it shallow in the end. Misses to the left-hand side from only about 25 metres out. Carlton by 35 points. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Frankie Evans just came off for a rotation and got a standing ovation from the Carlton fans sitting behind the bench, which was a really lovely moment.
Stocker, long kick up to a contest on the wing, scrapping after it. Cripps as always. Cowan goes in too. Lake for the Saints. Gets it out to Hill. Their ball. Forward handball good for Higgins, who tries to kick for Owens at half forward. Rids himself of his opponent, Dirksen. Keeps it going inside 50. Haynes tracking it back. Gets some support. Pumps it out to Dean, who's wrapped up quickly. And a ball up. 20 out from the attacking goal for the Saints. They trail by 35. 26 minutes into the third term.
Fought hard today, Owens, I reckon, for the Saints. Been a real worry for them.
De Koning wins down the tap. Mitch Owens can't get a disposal away. Boxall's shot on goal misses everything. Out to the right. Out of bounds on the full.
They say at St Kilda that if you asked him to run through a brick wall, you'd say, all right, no worries.
Which one? Which one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one?
Dirksen out of defence. Kicks to Blake Acres. Up to Hayward in a 2-on-1. He taps it away from O'Connell. Then has to work Wilkie against the boundary line. He does well. Halves the contest and sees the ball out of play, much to the encouragement of his fellow forwards, Ben Ainsworth and Mitch McGovern. Carlton by 35 points. It's fair to say the responses on the SMS are mixed for Sunday night footy. Those who are regional listeners, that ruins their chances of coming to the footy.
Yep,
which is a very fair point.
Absolutely.
Pitnet palms it down in front. Wilson trying to pick it up. He gathers it. He's stripped of it. Gets rid of it to Marshall. And moves it on to Boxall. Slung down in the Pitnet tackle. Holding the ball. So a Pitnet free kick for Carlton on the wing. Blues lead by 35. It's as big as their lead has been. He goes back to Acres, back to Dean. They consider the switch. Dean's a little unsure. Now we'll go with the short ball back to Dirksen, top of the defensive goal square. And Dirksen will move it on. Out to Haynes. City side of the ground here at Docklands.
This is indication that the Saints are just running out a bit of juice. They're allowing these uncontested marks again. I know they're not advancing the game at the moment, the Blues, so they won't be too stressed about it, but I just think it's an indication they are tapering off just this third quarter.
They are two rotations down the side. Wanganeen Malera did his hamstring 7 minutes into the game, and Mason Wood out with the calf injury as well.
Dirksen touched the footy on the ground despite not having moved because nobody ran at him.
But you don't need to do it, of course, unless you...
It's not a
Probably
timer.
felt awkward to have the ball in your hands for that long.
It's probably true, actually.
It felt so awkward just
There's a
watching
lot
that.
of defenders who probably sympathise with that. Haynes worked it back to Lord, who now sends a long kick up the wing. St Kilda with the numbers. Sharman got it down to Hill. Hand pass to Winhager through the middle of the ground. O'Connell had to wait for the bounce. Crashed into by McGovern. And then Akers as well. And the umpire will board up in the middle of Docklands. Carlton 11-8-74, leading St Kilda 5-9-39. The Blues enter the biggest lead of the match so far in this third quarter, which is now completed. So Carlton, in that term, able to see off the Saints early. Forays inside 50. The Saints put it 1-5 to Carlton's 3-3. And it's the Blues who lead by 35 points at three-quarter time, having led at half-time by 25 and quarter-time by 13. The goal kickers for the Blues. Harry Mackay has 3 goals, 2 to Haywood and to Pitternet. Individuals to Ainsworth, Walsh and Frankie Evans. While for the Saints, it's goals so far to Rowan Marshall, Max Hall, Ryan, Owens and Higgins. Three-quarter time here at Docklands. It's the Blues who lead by 35 points. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Okay, let's do it. The ABC Listen app now has a space just for kids and families. Ooh. The only place for new episodes of Bluey Listen Along. Radio, podcasts and routines. I love it. Everything families need anytime on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Hand pass to Evans, hand pass to Ainsworth, back to Frankie Evans, drives it inside 50, Mackay against the boundary line, and Harry Mackay had a couple of metres on this occasion against Caminiti. What does he do here, Chad? What's his best chance?
You've got to go to the banana. You're not comfortable on your right foot. He's probably not that comfortable on his left foot, so got to go to the banana.
He's going to drop punt against Chad's better knowledge, and he fires towards goal. And how do you like those apples? Harry Mackay from deep in the boundary up against the signage finishes with a special goal. High kick inside 50. Pignet juggles the mark.
No, push.
There's a push.
Yeah, he pushed. Was it McConey? He pushed out of the way. No, Marshall pushed out of the way.
Now the Saints need this from big Rowan Marshall. He trots in and sends it through. St Kilda answer back after the Mackay goal at the other end. He looks out. Mackay's on the lead. What a pass. Didn't have to break stride as he led into the left pocket and marks on his chest. On a 45-degree angle just inside 50. He hits it flush. And there's something to like about Harry tonight as he puts through his third.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Three-quarter time at Docklands. The Blues leading by 35 points. 11-8-74 to St Kilda 5-9-39. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Bobby Penny down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
Well, it was a better start to the quarter from the Saints. I thought they looked pretty good. They had a lot of shots at goal. They weren't able to capitalise and put enough scoreboard pressure on the Blues. And then it's just it's a war of attrition for them at the moment. They've just got to find a way to survive the game and play at the high energies for as long as they can in the quarter. Certainly did drop off in the last 7 or 8 minutes of that quarter, and Carlton were able to capitalise with some scoring opportunities and win the quarter again. So it's going to be really challenging for the Saints to find a way past the Blues in this last term. But it was a much better effort defensively. They had to reassess how they were defending the Blues ball movement. They did that. They shut out the easy kick marks, the uncontested marks. It was on track to keep them to about 25 for the quarter until the last 2 minutes when they just let them have the back 50 kicks. So I thought that was a plus for the Saints. And they got the ball back, more importantly, because they forced them down the line. They got the ball back and got some scoring opportunities on the back of it. They just couldn't capitalise. But the Blues have shown a great maturity, I reckon, tonight, Chad, that despite the fact that they lose momentum in the game at times, they don't panic, they don't try and change the way they want to play. They play a consistent brand all the way through, and they just trust that they'll get their ball winning abilities back and then be able to move the ball the way they want, which they did in the last phase of the quarter. So both teams get a bit of a win. Clearly the Saints need a bit more than that at the moment to win the game, but I think there's a bit to grow on from the Saints there, and the Blues will be relatively pleased with the way they finished the quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, St Kilda threw some punches that quarter, just none of them landed. I mean, 1-5 to Carlton's 3-3, and Carlton's goals came from St Kilda just having blatant turnovers. Yep. Or they've had a handball that's gone the wrong direction. or it's been a stoppage that's gone through the corridor, and it was a beautiful. They didn't kick outside of the bubble. We talk about the bubble in terms of the density, and they're shutting down the uncontested marks, which you love, Harv.
Yep.
But as soon as Carlton break that bubble or get past that one kick, they're over the back pretty quickly. And that's when you see, like, what happened there. If you're looking on screen, it's like, how do they get out the back? It's because everyone's getting assertive, and assertive means you're playing in front of your defender, you're shutting down the shorter options. But Carlton, at the, I suppose, the back end of that half, actually went back to, you know what, we're going to hold width, hold length, and make sure that we've got space, because if we break that line, we're going to get out the back a lot quicker, or break that width. It means we're going to get uncontested possessions through the corridor. And they're able to get that through. Once was actually through the stoppage in the back half, and it came through. Beautiful kick over just outside of the 50, and then you get Harry Mackay leading one-on-one, which you're not going to stop very often. So Carlton found it a little bit easier going inside forward 50 to convert, but St Kilda, like, if you're a St Kilda fan, they did a lot right this quarter, besides kick it through the middle sticks. Again, they're 2 down. So, like, you got to love the fight. You expect at some point this quarter, St Kilda will get a bit tired. So this has the opportunity to blow out further if they don't get some reward for effort early.
What about the emotional damage, the psychological damage that Naz going down early in the first quarter does to the Saints? What do you reckon that can play? What part can that play in this performance?
Yeah, huge. I mean, he's the leader. He's the best player. One of the best players in the competition. So to lose a player of that calibre, the one that you lean on whenever you get a handball, you know where he's around the back, you know what to do when you're feeling under pressure, you know who's going to stand up when a game gets close. So you lose that lead up. What I love about it, that he is there vocal on the front bench. He's not on the back bench in terms of sitting where every player that comes off the ground sees him first. You know, we can't obviously hear if he's talking, but it's quite easy to get injured and just go insular. So what I can see from just this point of view is that at least he's on the front bench. He's getting around all the players that are coming off. I mean, it must be frustrating. He's had an unbelievable season, and he's hurt his hamstring 15 minutes into the game, or 8 minutes into the game. So I'm glad that he's not going insular. He's getting out of himself. This is a good opportunity to show his leadership skills and to, again, be there when they need him in another way.
What did he have last week? 24 odd disposals and 46 or something the week before, so he'd had 70 disposals across 2 weeks.
It's a pretty handy player.
And for so often, for St Kilda, he's just a player they can give the ball to.
That's right.
He'll find a way forward. Carlton by 35 points as we get the final quarter underway on ABC Sport. Pitnet rises, wins the tap against the Koning. Walsh out of the middle, shot out of a cannon. Hand pass to Ainsworth, inside 50 to Haywood. Cuts back on his right, spots Lord free in the right forward pocket. He unselfishly kicks to the lead of Kemp, who leads up and takes the mark in the right forward pocket. He's got a hand pass to the goal line where McGovern is waiting. And Mitch McGovern with his first of the night. Kemp could have gone back and had the shot on goal, having won the lead-out contest with Stocker, but realised he had an opponent who was laying on his back, and McGovern couldn't believe his luck. The opening goal of the final quarter took just 30 seconds, and the Blues, 12-8-80, extend their lead, 5-9-39, the Saints.
Brilliant set of clearance, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, straight down his throat, didn't break stride. And the handballing was amazing then, and unselfish from every single player that was involved in that chain. About 6-7 players were actually involved in the handball, passing to someone in a better position. Young actually had an opportunity to do that. You said go back and kick it, but there's a guy in the goal square which I believe should always look. It was a 2v1. They separated him. Could have been a dead set shot on goal. He misses. You don't look at it again if you kick it. So it's one of those positions where he gave the handball. I love it.
4 of the last 5 goals in the game. Pitnet takes it out of the ruck, feeds it to Krebs, so goes forward for Jagger Smith. Beating him to it, Sharman. Smith tackles him and a ball up in the middle. Carlton by 41 points. New game high lead. Pitnet down for Cripps. After Jagger Smith. Kicks out wide. Ainsworth tracking it. Bouncing ball. It's a hand on it, but Sharman wins it. St Kilda ball on the back flank. Handball to Windhager, to O'Connell, to Hill. Tackle to ground quickly. And a ball up coming on the wing. Just a reminder, Carlton were 1-8 on the season. They're about to move to 11-10. Incredible. They'll be in the positive.
And it will be a 10th win under Josh Fraser. Ben Ainsworth gets a hand pass at the edge of the centre square. Kicks towards full forward. Kemp caught behind, and Cal Wilkie takes the intercepting mark for the Saints.
He hobbled off at three-quarter time, Cal Wilkie. Went down the race, so good to see him back out there moving well.
He plays on. Kicks to left half back where Max Hall takes the mark. St Kilda trailing by 41 points, their last 2 opponents, the Tigers and the Gold Coast Suns, but they'll have to do it without their superstar number 7 if they're to feature in September, which gets pretty hard from this point onwards. Burns kicks up towards Hugo Garcia. Inside 50, Silvani's gone forward. Can't take the mark. Dean makes the spoil. Haynes hand pass loose for Wilson. Higgins onto it, tackled as he could have got the hand pass to Mitch Owens. Kicks it out on the full. Sprays it out to the left-hand side. Carlton still lead by 41 points.
Should have got the hand pass.
I think Mitch Owens sprayed him.
Yeah, entitled to. I wouldn't mind betting Ross has a crack at him as well.
That's 2 from Higgins now.
He was looking back.
That's I'm having a dirty night. I need to do something. That's what that is from Jack.
Dean in the back pocket. Exiting kick out towards the City wing. Cripps caught behind. Gives a little shove. Free kick on the way of the Blues skipper. He just pokes it on to Walsh. Walsh marks. Runs away down the City wing. Off to Jagger Smith. How about those names combining? Cripps to Walsh to Jagger Smith. He gives it off to Lord, who dribbles a kick. Looking back for Walsh. Ricochets away from him. Lord goes again. Gathers for the Blues. Handball to Pitnet. Too hot for him. And he sockers it to Marshall. As St Kilda, they go back the other way.
Real too high. The Saints forwards have got nowhere to go.
So Owens had to give it to Brad Hill. He really had nowhere to go, so tried to give a delicate little underground hand pass to a teammate who was cannon into. That's Max Hall, who does so much of the grunt work. 3 Blues set upon him, and the umpire will ball it up on the outer side. Carlton by 41 points.
Wilkie's coming off.
Oh, he is indeed.
He never comes off.
He never comes.
So this could be the concern around the consecutive streak for him. Brad Hill slaps it down, got it to Darcy Wilson, kicks out wide, and Jack Higgins takes the mark. 1 goal 3, cuts on his right, tries to get it to the goal square. Garcia, Cowan went back with a fly. It supported Blake Acres, and the ball goes out of play.
Love his game.
Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Cal Wilkie's in discussion with a physio now. He doesn't look too worried, and the physio is just having a little chat. He's still on the bench. He's not having any work done, but he does look a little bit uncomfortable.
176 consecutive game for Cal Wilkie tonight.
Trying to get to, 194 first, and then he'd be hoping, I'm sure, 195 consecutive from debut. Hall from the pocket. Trying with the impossible snap. Right footer, right forward pocket. It was bending. Well, away from the goal eventually, but it went through on the near side. Carlton by 40 points. 5 minutes played in the 4th term.
Well, Wilson played on, and adventurous kick into the middle of the ground and never got to Hayward. Silvani runs onto it. He's doing it at both ends. Jams it inside 50, and Mitch Owens rises and takes the mark. So Silvani had gone forward, and then with Wilkie coming off, had to race back into the back line to help out. Delivers a nice kick inside 50, and Mitch Owens takes the mark.
Didn't mind it from Wilson. It was actually a nice little set play, where whoever it was the target recipient, intended recipient, was led out from the centre, out to the wing, and then doubled back to come back through the corridor where the kick went. It's just a bad kick, but good set play, just didn't work. That's okay.
Looking for just the second goal for the Saints since half-time. Mitch Owens comes in from directly in front. He misses to the right-hand side. So 1 goal 5 in that 3rd quarter. Margin is 39 points the way of the Blues.
Chera with the kick-in duties. Handballs to the back pocket, kicks up to the wing. McGovern in from the side, no mark. Young at the fall of the ball. Going in Dirksen. Gets it out to McGovern. McGovern gets a handball forward. Young slaps it on. Bouncing ball, McGovern goes and tracks it. Gets the handball on towards Jagger Smith. Jagger Smith will twist and turn and kick corridor. Yes. Cripps is bursting onto it. Blues at half forward. Kicks inside 50. Ainsworth can't gather on the bounce. Lake bumps him off it. Lake goes in on top of the footy. And the umpire will sort it out. 45 out from goal. Carlton by 39. And played 6 minutes and change in the 4th.
Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Cal Wilkie's just on the exercise bike in the race, so he's looking sore, but he looks like he'll try and go back out there.
Pitnet tried to get a clearance. The kick was smothered, though. Windhager gets it back to Ryan Burns. Almost slapped away by George Hewitt. Garcia couldn't gather. Burns can. Hand pass to Brad Hill. Tackled immediately. Hewitt tries to knock it out, but straight to Windhager of the Saints. Works a hand pass over the top. Garcia runs the boundary line. Hand pass up the wing to Filippo. To Brad Hill, who looks up. Not a lot of options at half forward, so beautifully just pulls his kick to Max Hall, who now works into the pocket. It lands in between Liam Ryan and Jack Higgins. Higgins tries to keep it alive, but he was over the line. It's been that sort of night for St Kilda. Poppy?
Liam Stocker is now in conversations with the doc and the physio. So I tell you what, they are working hard, the medical team for St Kilda today.
Not as hard as you, Poppy. Double shift for you today.
Thrown in the pocket to Koning. Taps the back boundary side. Dean tracks it. Tackled by Higgins. Still in the field of play. The umpire will come in to ball it up. Last 3 goals of the game going the way of the Baggers. All up. Pitnet lays it down. Cripps can't keep it in. Boundary throw in right forward pocket for St Kilda.
I wonder what they do with Wilkie. Game's done effectively. Do they risk him by putting him back out there? Or just pull the handbrake? So let's have a sit for a little while, Cal. We'll manage it from here. Throw in.
Pitnet slaps it down. Hill bursts onto it for St Kilda. Handball to Hall in the forward pocket. Stripped, caught, holding the ball. He was almost caught holding the ball twice.
It's a good effort.
Cripps knocked it out in the first tackle. It hit the deck, came back to him, and then he was tackled again and dispossessed once more. So Cripps in the back pocket getting a nice round of applause from the Blues fans.
He kicks up towards Louis Young, who shoved his opponent Caminiti underneath the ball, and a free kick going the way of the Saints on the wing. Carlton by 39 points. Caminiti, who spent time as a forward and a defender this season. I hope that Max King would return and he could play in the back line. Caminiti sends it high and long inside 50. Rowan Marshall never got there. Pitnet spoils with Turkson. Ricochets just wide of Winhager at half back, and Cottrell kicks into the middle of the ground. Kemp was looking to move back towards the 50, so it clears him and his opponent. Jack Silvani runs onto it. Hand pass for St Kilda up the wing. Brad Hill under enormous pressure, loses possession. Kemp takes it back. Hand pass to Chera. Taylor Burns at the top of the 50. He's got a player all on his own in McGovern. He gets the hand pass away, and Frankie Evans, in fact it was Cottrell, who finds Mitch McGovern in the right forward pocket.
We might see a bit of this in the last 15 minutes or so. Saints are out of gas.
It does feel like they are trying to run the Saints a bit more now, the Blues.
Wilkie's come back on just by the way too. So.
And McGovern is hemmed in the right forward pocket. He's barely 8 metres out from goal. He just has to curl it through on his left foot. Looking for his second of the final quarter. And he does just that. The Blues lead by 45 points. As Mitch McGovern puts through another one for the Navy Blue. 2 goals, 1 for him tonight. Carlton 13-8-86 to St Kilda 5-11-41. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Wilkie is back out there, and Stocker's just about to go on as well after having some work on his quad. So some tired, sore boys on the Saints bench, but they're pushing through.
Yes, a little bit of damage control at the moment. I think, like you asked that question before, does Wilkie come back on? Do you risk it? Is too many soldiers down to, if he's ready to go, you don't have that luxury that you normally have if you've got 4 available players beside him. But like you've just mentioned, Carlton have just really been relentless in their pressure. They're causing turnovers and getting out the back. Probably seen it more in this second half than we have all game in terms of, because they shift their defence. They've been a bit more, like I mentioned before, a bit more assertive. It's going to hurt you in some aspects as well.
9 goals to 2 since midway through the second quarter now the way of the Blues. Pitnet, free kick in the middle, gives it off to Florent, lifts the handball to Jagger Smith, who dinks it short, but it's chopped off. Boxall does well for St Kilda. He kicks out towards the wing, looking for Brad Hill. Akers there with him. Handball away to Sharman, who lifts it to Hunter Clark. He flicks it on to Hall. Now to Boxall again, bursting through the middle, kicks inside 50, good kick. Onto the chest of Higgins. 40 metres out, directly in front. He'll go back and kick for goal.
There's a bad spot to turn it over from Jagger Smith. Just at the top of the arc. Short kick to a 50-50. Had options deeper. One-on-one targets at forwards out of the centre bounce. Effectively love that scenario as Pitnet gets a rousing reception as he comes to the bench.
He's in a race for the St Kilda goal kicking award. Jack Higgins with Liam Ryan. His drop punt is out to the left.
His body by mechanic, but he kicks is horrendous at the moment.
Carlton lead by 44 points, 12 played in this 4th term.
He loses all shape. He falls aside.
It's like a catapult and fall.
Yeah.
He wasn't strong enough in his glute, in his standing leg.
So 2 goals to 3 behinds the way of the Blues in this final term. Taylor Burns working hard across half-back. Kick missed the target. Crushes into Wilkie, though. Wins the footy back for the Blues. Hand pass to Hewitt. Up the wing to Mackay. Hand pass to Haynes, trying to get it around Ryan Burns. And he does enough to tangle the ball and himself over the boundary line for a throw-in in front of the 2 benches. Carlton by 44 points. 13-8-86 to St Kilda. 5-12-42. The Blues with victory tonight would move 2 games clear of their next opponent in 10th spot. So opens up that wildcard possibility with 2 games to play.
Something.
Free kick for a hold.
Push, grab, hold, you name it. It was everything.
Taylor Byrne is like the little border collier who's racing around chasing everything at the moment in this final quarter. He turns and comes inboard to Haynes, who pocks the kick, looking for Patrick Cripps. Possession number 7 for him in this final quarter. He missed his teammate in Cottrell. Goes wider than that, looking for McGovern. Cottrell gets involved though. Hand pass to Evans. It's a throw. Yeah. Players have been onto those ones tonight.
Yeah, it was a bad kick from Cripps too. Gee, they've butchered some opportunities inside forward 50, the Blues.
Cottrell did just scoop it up though. 44-point lead the way the Blues.
Short kick to Windhager, who releases Clark. Any forward handballs it away to Burns. He moves it off towards Windhager. There's a Burns and a Burn playing today. Windhager's kick moves it out towards Lord. Blues back with it. Off to Dirksen. He gives the handball away to Hewitt. Left foot kick inside 50. Bouncing ball. Going after it, Mackay close to the boundary line. He knocks it out. And the throw-in coming deep in the left forward pocket here for the Blues. 13-8, 86. Plays 5-12-42. You said he was like the Border Collie Clinchy. Taylor Byrne, he is a... he spoke about getting the zoomies at night on TV. That's what the dogs get.
Marshall one down the tap to Filippo. Hand pass to Ryan Burns, who sidesteps his opponent. Gets a hand pass out to Hall, who's kept trying. Kicks into the middle of the ground, looking for Liam Ryan. Spoiled away by Cowan. Gathered by Florent. Hand pass to Evans. Drives it long. It's over the head of Mackay and in from the side. Darcy Wilson takes the mark. Takes a bounce as he plays on. Looks into the middle of the ground. Cooper Sharman can't mark. Cottrell spoils. Frankie Evans underground hand pass to Akers. Another inside 50 entry. Kemp into the pocket. Caminiti spoils. Crashes into the signage in the right forward pocket for the Blues. Carlton by 44 points.
A bit ugly here.
Yeah, I think he lives with Harry Dean, and I saw videos of them sort of sliding down the stairs on their backside and doing all sorts. As long as they don't get injured, I'm sure no one will mind too much.
They didn't do that in MASH. I'll give you the tip.
Carlton by 44 points as Marshall takes it out of the ruck and Hall kicks on his right boot, a clearing kick, but an up and under, and Akers marks very wide out. Pokes it into the pocket and finds Walsh. I'm sure the Blues fans will be very excited to watch both of them run around for the next 10, 15 years. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Lockie Cowan's limping off at the moment. You can hear the moos behind me. They're not boos, but I think it's just cramp. He had a little bit of pickle juice. I think he's cooked.
It's been terrific, Cowan.
Sam Walsh, one of the many players reinvigorated under Josh Fraser, misses out of bounds on the full.
Wonder if Cowan gets into Chad's votes later on. We'll see.
Oh, how about that for a handball? Michael Foster-Fraser, thanks, mate.
Well, we saw what Josh Fraser's done.
I
expect you to dominate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Cal Wilkie back out there in the back pocket. Sends it up towards Cooper Sharman. Dropped the mark. Mitch Owens tries to get a hand pass away, but he's locked up by Cooper Lord, and the umpire will ball it up on the outer side. The crowd has thinned a little. 20-odd thousand in for the AFLW match. I think the double headers are a winner. As the Blues take it at half forward. Hand pass over the top to Walsh, to Louis Young in the right forward pocket. Draws an opponent in Wilkie. Hand pass to Cottrell. Got crashed into as he got his kick away. And as a result, just scraped in for a minor score to the right. Carlton by 45 points.
Yeah, it's messy now. Just a messy quarter of footy, this one. Saints are hanging on for dear life. Blues can't get the job done and put them to the sword just yet.
Long kick in from Stocker out towards the wing for Marshall. Just repeating, if you've joined us late, Messiah Wangani Malira, hamstring injury early in the first quarter, I should say. Mason Wood out of the game with a calf injury, but the Navs one is the big one. The Saints to half forward. Ryan kicks inside 50. Silvani low down, juggles the mark. And he's paid it.
No, he hasn't.
No, he's not paid it. I think he took it clean. I think he did mark it. His dad, Stephen, shakes his head on the big screen, and a ball up. 30 out from the attacking goal here for the Saints.
He was flat, Steve.
Young taps it down. Lake roves it, snaps it, right to the line. Is it a goal? It is. Full points. They were trucking it back, the Blues. Dirksen was on the last line, but he didn't get there in time. And Carlton's lead is back to 39, 17 and a half minutes into the fourth.
Well, I think everyone was confused with the no-mark situation. No one was in position for the restart of the play, and Blake was able to just find himself on the outside, unopposed. Got around one defender, but it's a nice little snap in the end. I thought Dirksen might have got his hand on this, but upon review, it was a clear goal. They won't be worrying about that one in the arc. That's a nice little moment for Lakey.
So just St Kilda's second goal in the second half. It's been 5 goals 4 to 2 goals 8 since half time. That's the disappointing part for Ross Lyon. His Chargers have fought on, but unfortunately haven't been able to capitalise in front of the scoreboard. Running the footy, a couple of Saints midfielders, and Walsh doesn't do that. He gathers and kicks inside 50, and Kemp sliding out takes the mark. Seems to have found a bit of speed, Sam Walsh, in the last few weeks. I'm not sure if he's reinvigorated by the youngster Jagger Smith in there, and maybe Paddy Cripps saying, I'll do a bit more of the heavy lifting and you guys can be explosive.
Well, Hewitt's back in. He's a bit more heavy lifting. Cripps is heavy lifting. And Walsh and Jagger can just get to work on the outside and back themselves in to find space. The reintroduction of Hewitt has been significant.
Are you hearing this? We want Fraser. The chant has gone up around the ground.
Brodie Kemp out to the left. He hasn't hit this all that well, and it does drag left-hand side. How many Poppy do you reckon are cheering the We Want Fraser?
Anyone wearing navy blue is chanting We Want Fraser, that is for sure. The sentiment is very clear down here.
Fraser, the saviour, I think has been brought into vogue by Dan Does Footy as the long kick up towards the wing. Owens taking the mark for St Kilda, gives it off to Hill, kicks a turnover. Hayward marks. Blues by 40 points. You got it backward of the wing. Carlton are going to be in the 10. They're likely going to play a wild card game. As the kick goes around the wing, launching out at McGovern, doesn't take the mark out the back. Saints have the numbers. O'Connell to Hill to Wilkie. Dangerous kick. Just finds its way to Tom DeConing and gets it off to Hunter Clark.
And Ryan Burns had to deal with Harry Mackay. He does that, keeps the ball alive, and now Akers comes there. Hand pass to Hill under all sorts of pressure. Slaps it out to Garcia, gives it back to Ryan Burns. So back where we started, up the wing to DeConing on the bounce. He's tackled by Walsh. Just got a hand pass away at the last moment. Sharman on the outer side. Poor hand pass looking for Hunter Clark. It's taken back by Ainsworth. Got it to Cottrell. Now to Florent inside 50. Kemp again. Leaning out in front of Wilkie. He marks in the right forward pocket on a 45-degree angle, still looking for his second goal of the match.
It's not necessarily his strength, this component of the game, Brodie Kemp.
1 goal, 2 so far for Brodie Kemp. The Blues have punished the turnovers for the Saints. Cross half forward.
How many goals from turnover, Clinchy?
Click on that after this shot on goal. It's 19 marks inside 50 to 9 though half, so they've had a lot of good delivery there.
Well, and heaps that they missed too.
Yeah. Brodie Kemp looking for his second. This time he likes it off the boot. And the Blues continue on their marching way. 3 of the last 4 goals of the match. They're back out by 46 points. 14-10, 94 to St Kilda, 6-12, 48. 21 minutes gone, final term on ABC Sport.
We want Fraser ringing around here at Docklands. The Blues are up and about. Benny said before they're going to be in the wild card position. It's quite an extraordinary turnaround for this footy club.
So the last 2 games are against the Western Bulldogs and Fremantle. So there'll be 2 games inside the top 10 with 2 to play. And if they lose those 2, they should still feature.
Yeah, this locks it in.
Yeah,
I reckon. I think this kicks St Kilda out and it locks Carlton in, according to my ladder predictor. It's an amazing story.
Back in the middle, DeConing takes it out of the ruck, gives it to Hall. The forward handball releases him inside 50 and Owens. Just as you drew it up, that was perfect from the Saints. If the Blues lose both of those games and St Kilda win both of theirs,
the Saints have Richmond and Gold Coast.
Go past them.
But their percentage is not great, St Kilda.
Well, it's
better than Carlton's.
It is,
Owens comes in. His drop punt is a goal. Owens with his second, and Carlton, their lead cut back to 40 points. 14-10-94 plays 7-12-54. 22 and a half minutes into the fourth.
Without putting the cart before the horse, I'll be tipping them against the Bulldogs next week too.
Yeah. They've still got to win. One of those two to lock it in officially, or St Kilda have to drop one.
Yeah. And we can delve into this a bit more after the game, but the no Naz situation.
Yeah.
We've seen what it does,
100%.
and there's always been a concern about if it's not Naz, who's it going to be? Well, now it can't be Naz for a couple of weeks.
It could be Max Hall. You think about what he's done today. 26 disposals, 9 clearances, 8 score involvements, 1 goal assist. Last week he had over 20 disposals and 3 goals. I mean, he's not Naz, but geez, he's not a bad Robin to have.
He's in the middle here alongside Sam Walsh as Pitnet wins down the tap. Hewitt gets the clearance up towards Cottrell at half forward. On the bounce, hand pass to Akers, sends it out wide looking for Ainsworth. Runs end over end and out of play.
Problem now though, Chad, is he's not Robin. He's got to be Batman.
Yes.
That is true. Hey, both have no superpowers.
And Robin did all of the crime fighting, really.
Caminiti worked it back. The kick from Windhager is a turnover. The Blues don't make them pay, though. Louis Young's kick inboard. Walsh to Hayward. It's a little ugly.
Bar or so.
By the siren.
Hayward gets the hand pass back to Florent, top of the 50. Hewitt lost his footing. He tries to get a hand pass out to Hayward. It spills to Cottrell. Hand pass to McGovern, to Jagger Smith. Hand pass over the top in the right forward pocket. Ainsworth. All well that ends well. As Ben Ainsworth puts through his second. Having started the chain inside the forward 50, he finishes it. And the Blues bring up the ton, 15-10-100 to St Kilda, 7-12-54. Carlton by 46 points as Jack Silvani comes to the bench.
And the Carlton supporters, they love Jack Silvani. They didn't want him to go. Carlton weren't that keen to keep him. That's why he ended up in the other opposition colours this evening for the year. It's a bit harsh on Jack. It's all pantomime. Of course, we love the theatre of it. But they made a bit of a mess of it. The Blues, it's become that bit of a game in this last sort of 20 minutes. It's not overly exciting. The Saints are doing everything they can just to batten down the hatches, not make it too bad. The Blues are trying to finish them off, but they don't know how to. It's been that sort of battle.
Back in the middle, Jagger Smith trying to win it there for the Blues, but spits out and goes the way of Hall, who gives it to Marshall, to Wilson, bursting to 50, kicks on goal. And again, Haynes just gets a fist on it, punches it into the behind post, and a throw in left forward pocket here for the Saints inside their attacking 50. 46 is the equal game high lead for Carlton. Going to back up their big win over Brisbane. The really solid win over St Kilda. Pitnet tapping it down. Jagger Smith goes in, comes out to Owens of St Kilda. Off to Hall, snapping, missing left. Carlton by 45. 15-10-100 plays, 7-12-54.
It's fair to say the Blues fans are going to get to enjoy it this Monday. So Wanganeen Miller unfortunately out with a hamstring injury. To Koning and Silvani having crossed town. The Blues without a full-time coach, and they're going to get the bragging rights on a Monday. Wilson switches it into the pocket. Haynes lunging forward. Takes the mark in the right back pocket, and the Blues will be inside the top 10. It's the hand pass around the back to Wilson, who looks laterally for Akers. He's over the boundary line. St Kilda will take it back at left half forward. Liam Ryan, for that early collision with a shoulder injury, has fought throughout the match. He'll veer out to the right. Send it inside 50, and there's Hall. Chad Wingard's man, who keeps trying all afternoon and evening. He has it in the left forward pocket. So possession number 29 come out for him, has 1 goal too. Alongside the clearances, he's got 10 clearances, 5 centre bounce clearances.
Yeah, he's been on today. I mean, the only probably knock on him today, which is pretty harsh, but his disposal efficiency's gone at 57%. But he's done everything. He's got the grunt work. He's getting clearances. Hasn't quite finished off his shots on goal, so see if he can add one to his tally here.
We're going to try and finish off here in front of goal. Max Hall from the left forward pocket. Pretty good kick. Nice result as he puts through his second. The Saints with a couple late. Try and put a little bit of credibility into the scoreboard, but Carlton with 4 goals to 3-4 in the final term. The Blues 15-10-100 to St Kilda 8-13-61. 27 minutes gone in the final term.
there's no doubt his growth as a player. He's been one of the highlights for the Saints all year. We heard Ross talk about him. It was last week's press conference or the one before, I can't quite remember, but he's a big fan. Security fans would be enormous fans of Max Hall and what he's become as a player. And we've sung his praises the last couple of weeks when we've had the Security games on Sundays. He's a ripper, but he needs some help. Filippo's an interesting conversation for post-game too. He hasn't stood up like he needed to today for his team. I reckon they'll be disappointed with his output.
All up in the middle. Both rucks share it. Coming in Boxall, right over the footy. Jagger Smith reaches in. Swings out to Pitnet. Hacks it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Out after it, Taylor Burns. Slaps it on cleverly to Hayward, who wants to snap it from 45. Hits it high to the goal square. Harry's down there. Punched away by Stocker. Bouncing ball. Clark goes in. Gathers for the Saints. Under pressure. Gets it to Caminiti. Away to Windhager. Out to Burns. On to Wilson. Now O'Connell. Chaining handballs. They get it beyond the defensive arc. And Burns can move it on to Garcia.
He tries to get a kick up the wing because they have a 2-on-1. Sharman and Ryan. Sharman goes for a ride on Haynes. Can't take the mark. Sam Walsh front and centre gathers for the Blues. Hand pass to Dirksen. Trying to get it forward. Sharman tried to slap it away, but Walsh gathers. Hand pass to Florent. To Jagger Smith. Hand pass to Lord in the middle of the ground for Frankie Evans. Cuts on his right. Trying to stretch it out wide. Looking for Akers or Mackay. Mackay can't take the mark. Akers runs onto it though. Shows a clean set of heels and spots up Taylor Byrne. He marks directly in front, 35 metres out from goal.
I'll tell you what's been super noticeable from Carlton today is their comfort with ball in hand. You talk about their pressure that they're applying to St Kilda to make them feel real pressure, but also perceived pressure. Feel like there's someone close to them at all times. We talk about the composure that Carlton have had with using their kicks, but with ball in hand, they look so comfortable as well throughout the whole 4 quarters.
The 18-year-old Taylor Byrne, with 12 disposals tonight, looking for his first goal. And he does just that. The Blues with their 16th of the match. 16-10, 106. To St Kilda, 8-13, 61. The margin back to 45 points.
Well, he sort of started that 4-0-4. He tapped the ball under pressure. He tapped the ball over to Hayward, I think it was. He got the ball moving back again. It was a contested situation. He didn't try and grab it and make it about him. He just moved it onto his teammate after the ball came out of the centre from Pitnet. It was a pretty courageous manoeuvre in the end, and that's what kept things rolling there for the Blues before Hayward's big high snap. And he was the one that and Byrne, he was the one at the end that gets the reward for his effort at the start, which is a bit of footy karma coming back for him. SMS from Kenneth Sandringham saying, you sound a lot more relaxed today, Benny, with Raman not here. Any truth to that rumour?
That's 100% true. Marshall taps it down. Boxall gathers it. And stop, prop, and kick up to half forward. Ryan's there. Works his man underneath it. Marks 49 metres out. Rammer and I do get on very, very well.
Well, not according to Ken. He's at you and you don't cope well.
Ryan looks into the pocket and finds Hall.
There he is, just popping up again.
And Marks 30 metres out, directly in front. We had a dinner date last week, Rammer. Yeah, we went and got a bowl of pho before we had this show. AFL Monday.
Well, you would have had to pay.
Rammer was slurping it all up.
he would be a slurper too. Nothing but a slurper, that fella.
All comes in. And a little bit of a shining light for the Saints, but not on this occasion. He misses right.
Blame Chad
by 44.
As the time is almost running out here, and Carlton fans are ready to erupt. Dirksen with the kick-in duties, called to play on. Sends it long towards half-back. Mackay will flag in front of Caminiti and take the mark for Carlton at left half-back. Sam Walsh comes across, gives him a pat on the back. Mackay chips it back to Haynes, who marks in the back pocket. And what a night it is to be a Blues fan. From 1-8, Carlton make it 10 of the next 12 under Josh Fraser. They see off the Saints by 44 points. A disaster for Ross Lyon and Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. The Blues by 44 points. They're 2 games clear in the top 10.
and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark blues.
Carlton 16-10, 106 defeats St Kilda 8-14, 62 in front of 43,434 fans. The Blues led by 13 points at quarter time, by 25 at half time. They opened up the gap with 3 goals to 1 goal 5 in the third quarter by 35 points and run out comfortable 44-point winners. They're 10th on the ladder. That's now 10 wins in their last 12 games under interim coach Josh Fraser.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark blues.
The Blues are on the rampage and they're heading towards September. Look out. Carlton by 44 points over St Kilda. Harry Mackay put it 3 for the winners, 2 to Pitnet, McGovern, Brody Kemp, Hayward and Ainsworth, while individuals to Walsh, Evans and Burns. While for the Saints, 2 goals to Mitch Owen, 2 goals to Hall, individuals to Ryan, Marshall, Lake and Higgins. Carlton winners by 44 points as the Carlton fans are rejoicing down below us. And for St Kilda, it makes it tough from here. They're now in 11th spot, 9 wins and 12 losses, in the debate as to whether the season and how you view it will be the question which journos will be waiting to ask Ross Lyon. The thoughts of Daniel Hufford and Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, we came into the contest, Chad, looking for a really good game of footy. Both teams on the edge of the wild card race, and one needed to stand up today. And we didn't probably get what we wanted, because when Nas goes down, the whole dimension of the game changes really quickly. He's a superstar player. He's a game breaker. He's a match winner. And we didn't get to see him apply those characteristics for the Saints tonight. So that was always going to put them on the back foot. But the Blues, to their credit, they were incredibly strong as Josh Fraser walks along the boundary, getting a little bit of love from the Blues faithful. It's fair enough too. But they were really strong in the way they played. They're really mature today, the Blues. You just watch them, they have seemingly an unbelievable self-belief. For a team that couldn't have any self-belief, or didn't have any self-belief and couldn't finish off games, despite the fact they were a better team for a lot of time, they have grown enormously into belief mode. They trust this man. They trust this system. They're getting reward for their effort. They're getting the lick of the ice cream. And it's a totally different unit, despite the fact it's almost the same unit.
He fought them off for a long time. He didn't look over towards the cheer squad where the majority of that chant was coming from.
I think where it's coming from, right?
I thought he might have gone the old EPL-style manager and given them a clap on the way down the race. He avoided that because he's so level-headed and calm. And then as he got down the race, there's a collection that are lining up along the race for Carlton, and he had to give them the thumbs up, and he did. He gave them the thumbs up above the head and said, thanks for the chant.
Is he breaking?
Fraser.
Is he breaking?
I think that was the first little crack.
Is he breaking?
I think it was the first little crack in the Fraser disposition.
He's played a beautiful role to this point. He's put no pressure on himself with the way he's handled it. The club's done a great job supporting him in that, but it's getting very, very difficult not to admire, to the point of employment, what he's done with this squad. And Chad was giving his coach of the year at the start of or at half time. He was coach of the year.
I still think he is. I honestly do. Like what he's done to this team to galvanise the group without a pre-season, without.
He was there for the pre-season.
He was, but he wasn't the one in charge. Yeah. He wasn't the man that was dictating all the meetings, dictating the group, galvanising even just the coaching group as well. So for him to come on board when you look at Essendon and no one's been able to steer that ship. To come in, I know it's a different group, but if you talk about where they were at the start of the season, they were both down the bottom.
So how hard do you think that is, Chad, to transform a club when you're not the main man at the start of the season? And yes, there's a few players who probably feel like there's a certain freedom when a new coach comes in with a different view and the same sort of established roles that have been under the previous coach for recent seasons taken away. But to transform the club in the way in which he has, 10 wins from the last 12 games, they're now inside the top 10, 2 games clear. They just need to beat either the Western Bulldogs or Fremantle, and they're there. The Bulldogs with the victory tonight are guaranteed to play finals, so 9 of the 10 are locked in.
We just think about the pressure, though, under that team. Like, you got a fish memory, we do, because that team was scattered. They had no soul. They had no one to galvanise behind. The group was like, who do we trade next? Where does Paddy Cripps go? Where does Walsh go? They were thinking about tearing this apart. And then all of a sudden, they're in the wild card race. Like, if that's not coach of the year, that's what coaching is. Think about the group that you have in hand and you're getting the most out of them. That's what a best coach does. So, yes, I'm talking about Justin Longmire, who's obviously got a very good list, arguably the best list, besides Brisbane. They're the two best lists, I believe, in the country. I wouldn't say Carlton is in that same ranks. So for them to even beat Brisbane last week and to galvanise a group when their confidence, their ego has been shattered is a task.
Well, been shattered, It's certainly not now, is it? It's
exactly right.
Well, and that's to my point before. They play with so much trust for each other in the system and in what Josh Fraser wants them to do, and it's totally transformed from the first 9. Was it 9 rounds or 10 rounds that Vossi had? Well, they were 1 and 8, weren't they?
Yeah.
So 9 games of the season. It's quite phenomenal to have them in this position, to be talking about them like this.
Yeah.
Considering the situation they found themselves in midway through the year is quite something. It's certainly nothing I've ever seen in my time in footy.
Neither.
This sort of turnaround after a coach being sacked. It's never happened before, I don't think.
No caretaker in the AFL era has gone on to play finals.
Yeah, and there's still a bit of an asterisk on the final factor. But, yep, I get your point. But he's done a remarkable job and should absolutely be given every plaudit available. I do wonder with that, and it's a very minor physical gesture, the thumb up from Josh Fraser to the fans. But I do wonder what conversation, what comments we get from him, because he's going to be asked again about the role and what he wants to do with it. I wonder what he says tonight. Part of me thinks there might be a bit of a change in tone.
As the Blues make their way from Docklands, Patrick Cripps out in front, Harry Mackay just behind him. Carlton winners by 44 points. The Blues are inside the top 10. They're 2 games clear of St Kilda in 11th position. The chasing pack, the Giants and North Melbourne behind them. But when you think back to 2024, which, was a couple of years ago, they lost that final round of the home and away season to St Kilda. Jack Higgins kicked that goal. Fremantle ended up losing to Port Adelaide in the last game of the home and away seasons. The Blues played finals. They lost to Brisbane, but it feels like this is more sustainable, what we're seeing this version of Carlton, than maybe what we saw on that occasion.
Yeah, and with an elite young talent coming through the program too. Perhaps next year at a big day in the VFL. Yesterday.
Big game.
Cody Walker.
Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to. And with things like this, when this happens, they become the destination club again.
Blues are just about to sing the song.
Carlton winners by 44 points. Let's join Poppy Penny.
There's a very happy Blues huddle as they get ready to sing the song. Here we go.
Hey, da, 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 da. Woo. Da, 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 da. We are the Navy Blues. Woo. Yo, hey, da, Navy Blues. Woo. We're the team. Never let you down. We're the only team of Carlton. We're all the champions. Like to send us, we keep our hands up. And we know that they've been playing against them and sold out Blues. Woo!
It's a very happy Carlton rooms. Josh Fraser got a few high fives as he came into the rooms. Paddy Cripps led them down the race. There's a lot of celebration going on at Carlton at the moment.
Thank you, Poppy. We'll bring you an interview very shortly. Carlton winners by 44 points, 16-10, 106 to St Kilda, 8-14, 62. The Blues won all 4 quarters again tonight, so that's the other record they're starting to tick along, is that they are doing it in an impressive fashion. And the challenge now with their next 2 opponents, the Western Bulldogs and the Fremantle Dockers. The Bulldogs are here on a Sunday afternoon, so that's will be their 3rd consecutive game at Docklands, and then they're on the road to take on the Fremantle Dockers. I'm pretty sure that game's over there.
They're here.
Or is that here?
I reckon that's here.
That's here. I don't think they left. Last 8 weeks, they didn't have to leave.
Yes, right, you are.
Victoria, I think.
So that adds to the intrigue as to whether Fremantle might rest a few players who might be a little sore, even though the AFL has sent out a memo saying we want you to play with the integrity of seeing out the home and away season. But, I mean, if there's any doubt, those injuries are going to be signed off on.
Yeah, well, you'd think so. And in my view, and I know it's not Greg Swan and the AFL's view at the moment, in my view, you're entitled to do what you like. If you've qualified, you've given yourself top position on the ladder, you should be able to do what you like. As long as we all know, no issues. You can do what you like with that, but who knows what it'll look like in the round 24. But Yeah, next week all of a sudden is a very big game on Sunday afternoon. Because if the Bulldogs lose, does that put them in peril, or are they safe?
Bulldogs are locked in.
They're
now.
locked in.
Yep.
So the top 9 are locked in. So as it
locked,
stands, it would have been an interesting race for the top 8 had it been back to the old format. But that's not what we're working with. And Carlton at the moment have a foot there.
So this is great for
How
me,
funny
who's
is
had the
that?
argument with Corbin about the wild card all year.
How
We
funny
miss
is
out on that great race now because the wild card's sorted.
Yeah. How funny is that? The race for the 8 would have been absolutely magnificent.
So it would have been Collingwood there. They're 2 points behind Geelong as it stands at the moment. 12 wins, 8 losses and 1 draw. The Bulldogs would be half a game behind them, and the Blues would then be a game behind the Bulldogs. So basically you would have had 3 teams fighting for the last spot as it stands. There's now 9 teams who are locked in out of the 10. So we get an extra couple of finals, which adds to the drama, I suppose. But
that's funny.
Yeah, for the old school traditionalists, they'll probably say, you could have left it how it was.
And the wild card people will argue we've had better games for the last few weeks where teams were live for longer. Like St Kilda today probably would have already had their cards marked before this game.
Yep.
Like we would have thought they're not making the 8. They were still live to make the 10 with the win today. They're still technically live now, but it feels highly unlikely even for 10th.
Collingwood have got Hawthorn and Brisbane, so it's unlikely we get what's Collingwood in 8th spot at the moment, a Collingwood-Carlton wildcard final, which would always be the AFL's dream if they could find a way to make that happen. So as it stands at the moment, the Cats are in 7th spot, Collingwood in 8th, Bulldogs in 9th and Carlton in 10th. So it would be Geelong, Carlton, Collingwood, Bulldogs would be those wildcard matches, which would be enormous in the city.
Well, and it would, because a lot of the other finals will be played interstate throughout the whole campaign, depending on how it all unfolds. But you've got Freo and Sydney sitting in the top 2. They're going to be hosting qualifiers. And you've got Adelaide in 5th at the moment. Who knows what happens with Brisbane, or whether they finish 5th or 6th or 4th. So there's going to be a lot of interstate, non-Victorian finals. So it's going to be interesting to see what the AFL do with the venues and how they allocate the games to the stadiums.
Before we take you inside the Carlton camp, just give us a quick snapshot as to how St Kilda fans would be feeling leaving tonight. The hamstring injury to Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller 8 minutes in. We know how important he is to them, and it's going to make it hard for them now, and the season of hope and promise of trying to get into finals gets a hell of a lot harder now.
Shattered. I mean, King last week, or like the other week, and you got Sinclair sitting on the bench. Flanders has done his Achilles. Like, it's just dire. It's really dire. And I mean, you lose Naz now. They've had but again, is that enough for Ross to say what could have been? You just don't know.
And particularly when you build your salary cap in the way that St Kilda have, and this is not even a criticism, but when you tend to pay a concentrated amount of players a large portion of your salary, there's always the risk that if they get injured, there's a lot of your salary cap sitting on the sideline. And King's commanding big money. He's not playing, unfortunately, at the moment, which is horrible. And we all want King back and playing and healthy. And no one likes seeing Naz get injured. But that's that might be 3.7. It might be $3 million of your salary cap that's not out there.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the modern world, isn't it? It's the way you've got to try and build a list, particularly if you're a club like St Kilda that has sort of always been in the middle rung, in that dead zone, really, in terms of premiership contention, and a long way from the spoon, but nowhere near contenders. And when you're in that rung, you've got to find a way to break the system, to evolve and have a position where you can contend. They thought it was about doing that, concentrated payments to a couple of key players that they thought could help build the program, and then get other players to come on the back of that. And Flanders is a classic example of that, I reckon. It hasn't worked out this year, but it doesn't mean it won't work in the next couple of years. It's been a challenge putting it all together in that first year. It always probably was going to be a challenge to bring it all together in one season. So we've heard Ross talk about that too. Doesn't mean it won't work, but I imagine it's incredibly frustrating at the moment.
The inaugural Golden Fist for the player of the game, played in the spirit and the character of Danny Frawley, goes the way of Mark Pitnet for his 17 disposals, 2 goals, 7 clearances, and I'll get you the hit-outs in just a moment or so's time. But for him against his former teammate in Tom de Koning, Rowan Marshall, who's had some good battles with, it'd certainly be a pride of place for him to know that he got the points tonight.
Yeah, and we thought he played angry. Like, we saw some moments out there. There was a couple tackles, even a couple hit-outs. He actually was bullying the opposition ruckman at points. And even the contest around marking, I wouldn't say that's his strength in terms of the aerial presence, but he looked strong in the contest. Yes, he gave away a few silly free kicks by being maybe a little bit overzealous.
Yeah.
But I'd rather him play on that edge every week.
Yep. Yeah.
And he probably has to, that kind of player.
Good reward for him tonight. He had a great influence on the contest. Goal-kicking rucks, I mean, they're gold, aren't they? We talk about goal-kicking midfielders in modern footy being valuable, but if you're a goal-kicking ruck, they are very handy.
The Blues winners by 44 points. Let's join them with Poppy Penny.
I am in the victorious Carlton rooms, which I have been quite a few times this year. And for the first 10 weeks of the season, I didn't think I'd be in the victorious Carlton rooms quite as often as I have been. I'm with Frankie Evans, 2 games clear in the wildcard section of the ladder. How good is playing for Carlton at the moment?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's been a great year. We're finding some form, which is nice, and the fans have been unbelievable. So we're an extra player out there for us, so we love them.
At one point, there was a "We Want Fraser" chant going around. I'm not sure if you heard that. At what point do you players start getting in his ear and saying, "Hey, mate, you putting your hand up for the job"?
No, that's not our job. I don't get paid enough for that. But we love playing with him. But we're just taking it week by week, and he's been great for us. And that'll sort itself out later on in the year.
The turnaround to this season has truly been remarkable. Do you 10 weeks into this year, did you guys think, we're really a shot at playing wildcard?
Yeah, definitely. We were playing some really good footy in the first half. We were probably just fading a little bit. So we just, we knew we had the recipe, just needed to put it together for 4 quarters, which we've been doing. It's no surprise for us.
Contract extension for you this week, very exciting. What is it about Carlton that made you want to stick around?
It was, never a decision to, I love the club, so grateful for the opportunity. We've got a great group of guys and we're really building something, so I love being here.
I'm in the victorious Carlton rooms with Frankie Evans. I'm going to toss upstairs to Chad Wingard, Daniel Harford, Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron.
Fraser, Chad Wingard here, mate. Oh, sorry, I said good, Fraser. Mate, well done today. I thought you were unbelievable in terms of meter gains, your score involvements. You were around the ball a lot today. But in terms of your ball movement, I noticed Carlton players were very comfortable with ball in hand. So whether that's off a mark, uncontested, or whether that's taking on a tackler, is that something that you guys have focused on, or a shift in your offence? Because I feel like, again, you've gone from the uncontested possession since obviously the interim coach has taken over. How do you feel like your offence has improved?
Yeah, it's probably been off the back of our uncontested marks, as you said. We're setting the ground really well, and we're just making it easier for ourselves. We're not biting off anything we can't hit, so it's easy, predictable footy, and we've gone to work in our fundamentals, so that's coming out game day, which is good. But it's just everyone playing their role and simple footy.
And probably just the adjustment that you guys made. You saw St Kilda obviously tighten up their defence midway through that game. They obviously try to stop your uncontested marks. But how was the ability for the guys to shift their mentality, going to a different mode in the game?
Yeah, that was huge. We've come a long way in that aspect. We're able to kind of adjust on the fly. And, when we're not taking uncontested marks, we're able to score in different ways, which is really important. They're a great defensive team, so you've got to be able to beat them other ways and just moving the ball with uncontested marks.
Frankie, Daniel Harford, mate, well done to you, the highest rated player on the ground. You've had a big night, 12 score involvements and 10 inside 50s, or 10 and 12 the other way. It's a big scoring performance. I'm interested, though, in the preparation for the game. You play St Kilda, you talk about Naz, I'm sure. When did you know that he wasn't out there and he'd done that string?
Yeah, he's obviously a great player. We'd put a bit of planning and work into him. I reckon I found out at quarter time that he was done. So, it's always nice when you've got a player of his skill not out there. It's only one player, so they're still a good team without him. So nothing really changed too much with that.
So was that brought up by Fraser, or was it brought up by the players or the line coaches?
Him being out? Or?
Yeah, him being out, yeah.
Yeah, that was just kind of spoken about at quarter time, and, we moved it on pretty quickly, and that was that.
That's interesting. Yeah, interesting. And the way you're defending, we've got to talk about your attack and the way you're moving the ball and disposing of the ball and controlling possession, which is a bit of a contrast to what you've done. But the way you've defended's been really strong. How much extra work's been done in that, or is it just a matter of it all coming together under a new voice?
We've just doubled down on our defence and what we do well, and that's probably off the back of our pressure. That's across all the lines, and that kind of helps our ball movement and offence as well. So that's something to fall back on, and from that we can move the ball and be attacking. But without that, we don't really have any game.
Frankie, did you hear the "We Want Fraser" chant while you were out there?
Yeah, might have heard it at the end of the game. The fans love him, but I can't say too much about it. I don't get paid enough for that.
9 individual goal kickers tonight, Frankie. Are you giving Harry Mackay the goal kicking lessons when he's nailing it from the left forward pocket?
Yeah, that was nice. I thought he was going to go the right foot snap, but he just dobbed it. He's been great, the big fella. But we're getting a good spread of goal kickers, which is nice. And, that's coming from mids as well. So it's hard to stop us when we're playing like that, and we've got so many avenues for scoring.
Yeah, it feels like you're getting a really even spread of contributors across the board. Is there any direct reason as to why you feel like you're just getting bigger and better buy-in and input from everyone?
Not really. I think everyone's just playing their role, and we're being predictable to each other. And when you do that, everyone gets a lick of the ice cream, and we don't need 1 or 2 players to play exceptional. It's just everyone playing their role and playing well. And it's easy, good, fun team footy, so we're loving it at the moment.
What about Big Pitto? He got the golden fist, I could see, in honour of Spud Frawley today on the broadcaster. He looked like he was a bit angry, the big fella at times. Played angry today, we reckon. What was he like in the build-up?
Yeah, I love when the big boys are angry. Pitto's been great. He's one of the best teammates. He always puts others before himself. And, he's been huge this year, winning halving contests. They've got 2 big, good players in the ruck there today, so he battles away and does an unbelievable job for us.
Is there an extra bit because it was it's TDK that took off and he had to be the main man?
I don't know, maybe, but he's really owned that role this year, and we love playing with him, and he's been huge for us.
Was there some good banter out on the field with former teammates?
Yeah, a little bit. Sauce is always good on the chirp, so it was fun playing with him, and it was nice to get a win against him.
And finally, we see Josh Fraser relaxed with the hoodie on, doing it very much his own way inside the closed change rooms. What sort of gets him excited? What is he sort of passionate about when he's addressing you guys?
He loves Harry Dean and Taylor Byrne, the 2 young boys. He's honestly, he's the same as you guys see him in the media and day to day. He's unbelievable, win, lose or draw. His kind of demeanour is really calming for the group, which has been great.
So does it feel like the lid's still on at the moment internally?
Yeah, lid's still on. We're taking it week by week, which is boring for you guys. But, we're just building something, and, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We'll get back to work on Monday and move on to next week.
Congratulations, Frankie, on the win. Thanks for spending some time with us, and good luck next week.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Frankie Evans joining us from the Blues Rooms, winners by 44 points. They take on the Western Bulldogs and the Dockers. Both games here at Docklands. They're 2 games inside the top 10 with 2 to play.
Must be spending time with Mark Pittonet. He had the same line last week with us that I don't get paid enough to answer those questions. And then he backed that up on the Sunday Footy Show the next morning, I saw. And Frankie's used the line as well.
It's a beautifully communication strategy-led conversation, that is, an answer. The communication department, this is what we're going to say, boys. You're going to ask about this all the time. This is what we're going to say. You don't get paid enough.
It does tell you that, I think there was some vision that was played on Channel 7 during the week when Sam Walsh was asked the question about Fraser and clearly didn't want to answer the question. That I think they were concerned as this went on that it was going to be very similar to the Teague train. There was going to be a groundswell of emotion that would sweep them up and force their hand to picking Josh Fraser. We might have got there anyway. At 9-2 now. It's 10-2 now. It's 9-2 coming into today. 10-2. We might be there.
Is there any concerns if you kick it too far down the road that you miss the opportunity to actually have that sort of, moment where he sort of feels like he can put his hand up and not all of a sudden be in finals? It feels like they've got a 2-week window here where they're going to be trying to get their way into featuring in September, and yet they need to move on with their process at some stage.
Does it create the narrative around it? Just takes the pressure off the team, though. I feel like
possibly.
I feel like it's a narrative that just keeps it going. So the pressure's not on. You've got the job now perform. It's almost just whatever. It's almost like whatever happens this year is a bonus. It's so whatever plays out this year, he's done an amazing job. He hasn't got the role yet. I just feel like it's a win-win until they see what happens this year.
I wonder what the other applicants, candidates are thinking at the moment. Because I think 6 weeks ago they're probably thinking, I'm half a chance here. I'm a massive sniffy. Corey Enright,
part of the St Kilda coaching crew.
Corey Enright would have been sitting there going, I've got another job next year. Out you go, I'm off. See you, Ross. Talk shortly. He might have to go back, tail between the legs. Though. Ross, I always loved you. Never wanted to go anywhere. It was all talk. It was all media hype. I'm your man. I'll be here forever.
We spoke about this off air. It's if you don't give it to Fraser, or if you don't give it to Hurd, this mythical person who what could have been, for whoever does get it, say if they don't get it next year for those two respective teams, you're getting compared to someone who's it's impossible to live up to. So it's a hard one for both clubs.
Even for Dean Solomon, who says, I'm contracted, but we'll see what happens at the end of the season. It starts to get awkward. Some of these decisions for clubs, those that are staying, those who are going, and how they try and move forward. The Blues move forward tonight, a 44-point victory over St Kilda. 16-10, 106 to the Saints, 8-14. 62. The votes for the ABC Football of the Year. Do you need some thinking time, Chad, given that handball you received?
Yeah, nice little handball. No, I'm happy to give the 3 votes. So for 1 vote, I'm going to give it to Max Hall. I just really loved his game. I mean, he had 30 disposals, 2 goals. He had a game-high 10 clearances. So, he got the chocolates at the end. He almost could have kicked 4. If he kicked straight. I mean, he missed 2 set shots that were about 40 metres out. So, loved his game, shouldered the burden once Naz went down. Really tried to lift as the Robin role, tried to be Batman. Couldn't quite get it done. 2 votes, I'm going Walsh. He had a team-high 7 clearances, 26 disposals and a goal, and he was just classy. Like, whenever he got the ball, he just felt like it was comfort in hand. Really got him going around the ball. But the man we just spoken to, Frankie Evans, I mean, 22 disposals, he had 1 goal. He had a team-high 10 score involvements, as we just mentioned. He had 2 goal assists, and he had a game-high 613 metres gained. So he just ticked all the boxes in terms of getting it done. Kind of was like a silent assassin until we saw the stats, and then you realise how much impact that he really had on the game once you look it back in terms of he was so potent from that mid-forward connection, which, again, they didn't have. They only had 1 mark inside forward 50 in the first quarter. They end up with 18, I believe. So big turnaround from Carlton, and Frankie Evans was a big part in that.
12 inside 50s too. It's a big number.
3 to Evans, 2 to Walsh, 1 to Max Hall in the ABC Footballer of the Year from Chad Wingard. The final numbers, Brad Hill finished with 31 disposals, Max Hall with 30, Darcy Wilson with 25, Winhager with 24, while for the Blues, Patrick Cripps had 26 disposals, 6 clearances, Sam Walsh had 26 as well, 7 clearances, and George Hewitt had 26. So that midfield sort of trio quartet, they're all getting now in the 20s. There's not as many there was a period where they were all getting over 30s, but now it does feel like they are sharing a lot more of the responsibility. And Harry Mackay led the way with 3 goals. Mark Pitnet, Haywood and Ainsworth alongside McGovern all kicked 2. So they're doing it well at the moment at the Blues. All of a sudden, round 23 will roll around relatively quickly. There's no Thursday night footy this week because we have AFLW, which would be great. Hawthorn, Melbourne on Thursday night. Round 23 starts with Fremantle taking on Adelaide on Friday night. So the Dockers needing to bounce back after their loss to the D's, and the Crows, who weren't as impressive over Richmond, hit the road and take on the Dockers at home.
A long way from impressive last night, the Crows. Probably taking a little bit away from Richmond, but no, that was a poor showing from Adelaide.
The Saints take on Richmond in the Saturday affair from the MCG. North Melbourne and the Cats down at, that's actually at Docklands, so the Richmond St Kilda game at the MCG. North Melbourne and Geelong at Docklands. The Brisbane Lions take on the Gold Coast Suns in the Q Clash on Saturday in the twilight. Hawthorn and Collingwood is the Saturday night fixture, while Port Adelaide and Melbourne from the Adelaide Oval. So the Pies get the 4 points over in the West against the Eagles. The Hawks will be, your old Hawks, Chad, desperate to bounce back after their loss to the Lions.
Yeah, they definitely will. I mean, they just got overwhelmed. That's as simply as you could probably put it. They got overwhelmed by the pressure that Brisbane put on them. It actually reminded me of the grand final against Sydney, where they just suffocated Sydney with their pressure and relentless, just taking ground and then pressing the opposition. So, they'll be looking to bounce back for sure.
And our Sunday affair, GWS taking on West Coast from Sydney. The Western Bulldogs and Carlton is our Sunday game from Docklands, and the Bombers taking on Sydney from the MCG. So the Bulldogs with a chance to try and bounce back after that loss to North Melbourne. The Blues are going to be a hard side to beat.
I would think so. All right, Luke Beveridge will be coming up with a very special theme for this game because it's a big one. It is a big one. Because they need to sort of get firing too. They're sort of sputtering a little bit, the Dogs. I reckon they're a long way from where they need to be if they want to get through a wildcard situation. So,
if they feature in the top 10 and then get beaten badly in the first final, is that still? Luke Beveridge spoke in the week about marking a milestone and celebrating an achievement. Does that take a bit of the achievement away?
I wonder what it's going to be consumed by in Clubland, the wild card. Like whether or not, if you lose a wild card, have you made the finals? I wonder what sort of mentality they'll use. Now, the public and the footy, the AFL say, no, you've lost the final, that's okay. But I wonder what the conversation will be like in Clubland, because it's you're not in that top 8. You missed it.
But I still like the wild card for the fact that we get reward for having the best teams that are in form. So you think about Carlton, who potentially might finish 10th, 9th.
Yep, 10th, yep.
They're in a better form than Western Bulldogs, right? And they might finish 8th. So we're getting the best team at the end of it, or the team who's most in form in the 8. And that's the only way that I see the benefit of it. Yes, there's other avenues to get the 8, but if you look if we didn't have this, Carlton probably doesn't play finals, and then Western Bulldogs does. And you're like, well, who would you rather see in the finals?
Well, I know who the Carlton fans would rather.
But you want to see the best players who are most informed, who's actually going to create a good contest in the finals. And I believe we'll see what happens at the end of this, but you'd assume that Carlton are more informed than a couple of those other teams in the 10.
They get the job done next week. They can have a chat about it.
They will indeed. Chad, thank you so much for jumping in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Great work,
what a game.
Half will hear you with Benny for the ABC AFL Daily Podcast.
5 different flavours.
Thank you to Poppy Penny down on the boundary, to Lee at the back of the box, to Jules Hayes back at base. The Blues winners by 44 points. Got your headline ready to go, Benny?
Ready to roll. I think the Carlton fans gave it to me.
I think they did indeed.
Fraser.
16-10, 106 the Blues, defeating St Kilda 8-14, 62. While earlier it was the Magpies, 19-point winners over the West Coast Eagles. And the Suns snapped a 10-game losing streak, defeating the Giants by 2 points. In the AFLW, it was also the Blues, a navy blue night, winning by 26 points over St Kilda, 9-12-66, for the Saints 6-4-40. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll chat again next week on ABC Sport.